because we live for these moments.
Touchdown! Seahawks!
This city lives for Sunday. Get your tickets for Seahawks game days at Lumen Field and experience what this city lives for. Visit Seahawks.com today.
Let's go!
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma.
This hour is brought to you by the Harnish Auto family.
Give me a freaking auto!
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Brock and Salk on Seattle Sports.
Brock Heward and Matt Marcus. Sorry about just Mike.
Presented by Simply Seattle.
Heward, not exactly Joe Cap there in the pocket.
Now here are your hosts, Brock Heward and Mike Saul.
Well, happy Thursday. A lot going on today. First of all, this is not Salk's voice, obviously. We switched out the mics today. Mike Lefko here with you. Got the rest of the usual people here. Lyle's here. Mora's here. Hello over there.
Disinfect that, Mike?
Did I disinfect it?
He's out sick.
Oh, well, no. I'll tell you why I didn't disinfect it. You know who sat here before? The king of disinfecting. So anytime
Bob
you come
Stelton
on after
took care of
Bob
that.
Stelton, it is the most clean environment you'll walk into. So I feel very secure here. Hopefully all of our listeners feel secure as well with me and not Salk this morning. Brock will join us as he usually does a little bit later. Guys, loaded show here. This is fun. We got a lot to talk about. Yes, we'll talk some baseball, the Mariners season. The Mariners season ended since the last time we talked to Jeff Passon, which I realized you guys talked to him last Tuesday, so a lot has happened since then. So Jeff Passon will join us at 8:30. Benetti will join us at 9:30. I think Brock just wanted an excuse to talk to his broadcast partner this weekend. They missed each other. They weren't broadcasting together last weekend on a college football game.
I mean,
But there's some Tigers stuff as well.
We were all Tigers fans the last couple of days,
Yes.
right?
So we'll talk. But Tigers talk can only go so far because then you're forced to reckon with that the Tigers are the team doing this, not the Mariners. But we don't have to get into that too much. We'll talk about the joy of the Tigers beating the Astros with Jason Benetti. The award-winning Here's the Thing coming up at 8 o'clock. I've learned it's become an award-winning segment since the last time I filled in here.
What kind of awards have we
It's some of the people leaving voicemails have become award-worthy listening. So we'll get to all
my
that.
favorite segment.
Yeah, I need to learn a little bit more of the backstory about some of the dynamics and the personalities on this segment. So we'll get to that because Brock inquired about one, I guess, prominent person
Brad.
who calls in. Yeah, Brad. Okay.
We have
And,
Brad, Brett, and Brock that leave.
So it's only a B thing. Okay.
Yeah, it's a weird B trio thing, but they leave us the most messages every week.
Okay, so we'll get to that at 8, Passon 8:30, Benetti at 9:30, and then potentially Todd Blackledge, who's in town calling the Washington-Michigan game this weekend if the schedule's sorted out. Not sure about that yet. That's what happens when you let Brock be in charge of the scheduling. So sometimes things just don't get done. But Todd Blackledge should be able to join us if he can, and then we will talk to him. So a lot to get to. Seahawks, of course, as well, because you know what's crazy is that, yes, they play the Giants in a couple days, but we're a week out from the Niners game. And I can't help but think about that game. Even though there's this game looming here on Sunday, I can look ahead. That's the thing. Players can't look ahead. Coaches will never look ahead, even though they secretly kind of are aware. You know, everyone's aware of what's happening in a week. And perhaps injury-wise, you might keep some people out because of that short and quick turnaround. We'll talk about that. But, yeah, it feels strange. We're a week away from what could be seen as one of the biggest games of the season, yet there's this game looming. So a lot to get to with that. And then, Maura, you kind of ignited a firestorm that we're going to talk about in great detail with Brock at 7, but just to kind of get it out there right now, your
I'm just
tweet
the messenger.
from Daniel Jeremiah,
Daniel
what he said, yeah. But you were the one who dealt with the vitriol and the chaos of your tweet yesterday.
Yes, we had Daniel Jeremiah on yesterday, as we do every Wednesday now, and he said essentially that he thinks maybe the Panthers or about 5 or 6 other teams could be willing to pay Gino Smith $50 million a year if he keeps up the play level that he's at right now next year. And then I posted that, and I had a lot of people arguing in my mentions yesterday, everything on whether Gino would be worth that or not, whether the team would do it, but also a lot of people saying, well, he's under contract for next year, so it doesn't matter, which is wild to me because he doesn't have any more guaranteed money left on that contract next year. He already wanted a new deal this year. And if he keeps playing at the level that he's at with how much more money some of these other quarterbacks are making, I don't know why he would not try to do some kind of holdout. I think that would be the smart thing for them to do. So I don't know that it matters that he's still under contract. And that's usually the year that you try to force these things.
Yeah, well, it's not even just forcing. I think it's protecting yourself financially because players always want to have that financial security. The nature of the NFL, if you're hurt, you can get cut and you're done. So going into your final season, any superstar, any star that's about to get a big contract, they want that. They have the most leverage. They have the most possibility to get themselves that big payday. So Gino Smith, absolutely, it will become a big talking point this offseason. Because if you go into next season in the final year of his contract with no deal, and knock on wood, this doesn't happen, but then if Gino Smith has this terrible injury, maybe no team ever pays him again. So this is why, and I think, yes, to your point, the people that didn't understand that it's an issue now, or it's something that the Seahawks will have to deal with. It's a situation to be aware of. And it's becoming more and more of a story because of how well he's playing, which is, the good and bad news. It's great news for this team, this immediate Seahawks team, and the potential for this season. It's a tougher conversation about the contract, but a warranted one, and one that absolutely will happen because you never go into your final season without a deal in hand. We've seen this. It's not Geno Smith. We've seen this with superstars, we've seen this with players all over the NFL. And now some guys, even like Jamar Chase, he's trying to hold out 2 years in advance. So it will be a conversation point, and it will be the biggest storyline of the Seahawks offseason. There were some good points brought up by Daniel Jeremiah. Then Field Yates, who was on with Wyman and Bob yesterday. We'll get to all that at 7, but it's just funny that you ignited the firestorm of chaos, Maura, even though it wasn't your doing.
You never know sometimes when I post stuff that happened in our interviews, what's going to take off. But yeah, and sometimes I'll read some of the responses and think people are calling me an idiot, and then I'll realize they're arguing with each other in the mentions. So,
that's always fun.
That one definitely was divided.
Yeah. You know what we like to do? We sometimes like to instigate and have the texters go at each other. Some text-on-text crime on the Mac and Jack's text line. But it's a curiosity. I think we can throw this out again at 7. Just a quick poll right now for the Mac and Jack's text line. 866-979-3776. Would you pay Geno Smith $50 million per year? I think I know most of the answers. It's that sticker shock of what that number means. But if you look around the league, and not to completely step on 7 o'clock that we'll get to, but if you look around the league, that is the range. That's what quarterbacks cost these days. Not your money. Salary cap goes up anyway. So it's a sticking point for a lot of people. It's a conversation that will get some serious legs as the season moves along. Funny to talk about it now in this light because we're just 4 games into a 17-game regular season. But it's a big
if he starts
talking
to struggle,
point.
This is a moot point. But it looks like he fits pretty well in Ryan Grubb's offense. So we'll see. And yeah, as you were talking about the yearly salary, he's making an average of $25 million a year right now,
which is the biggest
puts
bargain
him around like 20th.
This is like rookie quarterbacks are almost making that much. So yeah, it's a great deal. Now, really quickly here, I do just have to bring up that watching the playoffs yesterday, wild card series in the Major League Baseball playoffs, 3 of them finished 2-0. There's one still remaining. We'll get to that in Need to Know. But especially looking at the American League, it was striking with the Kansas City Royals and what they were able to do to go into Baltimore. You line up 2 good pitchers. You have Reagan to start. You have Lugo yesterday. And I can't help but think the frustration that the Mariners have built a perfect team for the playoffs, but they haven't built a good enough team to get to the playoffs. And that becomes the great change that has to happen. I know there's kind of the issue in that in everything, in the disconnect perhaps of how they've tried to build a team, they have built a great team for the playoffs. And there's a reason why that was always thrown out over the past few seasons. No one wants to play the Mariners in the playoffs. Yeah, that's absolutely true. The issue is the offense hasn't given you enough to build a product that can get to the playoffs. So now this offseason will be about, hey, how do you supplement that? How do you lift this offense up? But it's undeniably clear that you can hang your hat on the fact that the Mariners can make a lot of noise in the playoffs. You just look at the Royals. They have 2 pitchers. That's all you need. In a best-of-3 series, who's really going to go past this Mariners rotation of 4, maybe even 5 starters and take 3 games out of them in a series where everyone can be lined up? And I think the Royals showed that it's pretty clear. That's what you need to win in the playoffs, and the Mariners have that pitching-wise. but you have to get to the playoffs first. And we have plenty of time to talk about that when Jeff Passon joins us. I mean, we have an entire offseason to talk about that. So it'll be the story of the offseason, but it was kind of reassuring and also very painful to see that you can do that. You can have great pitching. You can go into a team that had high expectations with the Orioles and beat that team and just shut them down in the playoffs like the Royals did. So we'll talk about all of that and much more, but it's a week away. We mentioned it. You got to get ready for Thursday Night Football. The Seahawks are hosting the San Francisco 49ers on October 10th. Seattle Sports is looking to give away 4 tickets to watch this rivalry in person. All you need to do is open the Seattle Sports app and click the Win tab to find out how. If you don't already have the app, simply text app to our Mac and Jack's text line, 866-979-3776. We'll send you a link to download. Enter daily to increase your chances to win. This contest runs through this upcoming Monday, October 7th. So a lot to get to with the Seahawks, including one thing that Daniel Jeremiah said that at first seems stunning, but it's a new reality for the Seahawks. We'll get to that up next. This is the Brock and Salk Show on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
After suffering their first loss of the season, the Seahawks are ready to get back to work.
He's going to score 10-5. He dives in. Touchdown, Seahawks. Ken Walker the third. Welcome back, brother.
This Sunday, the Hawks look to bounce back as they host the New York Giants.
Coming underneath JSN on a quick throw backside. Charbonnet down the near sideline, first down.
Kickoff 1:25. Pregame coverage starting at 10.
Wow. Pull one out of the back of the playbook.
On your home for the Hawks, Seattle Sports.
West Coast Men's Health has helped thousands of men overcome erectile dysfunction and Peyronie's disease using acoustic wave therapy. No pills and no shots. But it's not our success stories that separate us from the other clinics. It's how we interact with our patients. From your first call, our medical staff will take the time to answer your questions, whether it's about your ED, how our treatment works, or even about the cost. Our goal is to inform and educate you so you're comfortable when you come in for your first visit. So if you're tired of frustrating nights, you're ready to get off Viagra and put an end to your ED or Peyronie's disease, stop living with this problem and do something about it. Give West Coast Men's Health a call today. It's not just about better health, it's about a better life.
With clinics in Redmond and Tacoma, call 206-519-6541. That's 206-519-6541. 206-519-6541. Online at westcoastmenshealth.com.
Hey, Brock Ewart here, and the Harnish Auto family is so excited to team up with the Carol Milgard Breast Center in the fight against breast cancer. For every test drive this month, they'll donate $25 in both Puyallup and Everett. Harnish Auto family. People matter.
Lead generation is one of the most important aspects of any marketing campaign. So let us help you identify your target audience and market your products or services to them. Go to aimyourdigital.com today. aimyourdigital.com.
Between his hobbies and decades of work in a boatyard, Philip had put his body through a lot.
I'm an avid fly fisherman and an avid skier. It takes its toll.
Not to mention one other thing.
I had a near-fatal motorcycle accident. Absolutely obliterated my lower left leg again.
Philip couldn't live with the pain anymore, so he decided to see Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine for stem cell therapy.
Listening to all these radio spots, I said, what do I got to lose?
What was your experience like with Dr. Wagner?
What I was so impressed with Mark about is that how often you have a surgery like this, and the guy calls you the next day to see how you're doing. I can't say enough good things about the guy, honestly.
And how are you feeling now?
I have no pain, none. Zero.
Wow. So would you recommend stem cell therapy to others?
I'm a fan, believe me. I'd recommend it to anybody.
Before you choose surgery, consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. Schedule your consultation at drmarkwagnermd.com.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential. But finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Subscribe to the Seattle Sports YouTube page to find new and exclusive content from your favorite shows and personalities daily. Just head to YouTube, search Seattle Sports, and click subscribe.
911, what is your emergency?
There's a fire in my building. Please send help right away.
What is the address of the fire?
My address. Hold on. Oh, wait. The fire sprinkler just went off, and it's putting out the fire.
Good to hear. The fire department will still be dispatched as a precaution.
Fires are fast, but fire sprinklers are faster. Fire sprinklers get water on a fire immediately to protect you and your property. Install fire sprinklers in your home or business today. Brought to you by Puget Sound Area Fire Protection Contractors. The seasons are changing, and if you're thinking it's time to change what you drive, the incredible team at Toyota of Kirkland will get you charged up with the BZ4X. Toyota's all-electric crossover SUV features an estimated range up to 252 miles, getting you where you need to go. Test drive the BZ4X at the electrifying showroom at Toyota of Kirkland and take it home the same day. Visit in person today at Toyota of Kirkland or online at toyotaofkirkland.com.
Hey, Brock Ewart here with Shannon O'Kelly, President and CEO of IRG Physical and Hand Therapy. Shannon, I can feel it. The leaves are changing. The weather's changing a little bit. Summer activities turn into fall activities. What does that mean seasonally at IRG?
Well, at IRG, there is no season. We have direct access. So what we talk about direct access, Brock, is, the summer's over, fall's coming, winter's going to be here, but there's always a good season to get into physical therapy. And when I say direct access in the state of Washington, what that means is if you get up in the morning or have a weekend where you did something and you have a sore back, for example, you do not need to get a referral from your doctor to come see a physical therapist. We can get you in, get treatment started. We know the earlier we get a patient in, the better outcomes that the patient is going to experience, and that's what it's all about, direct access. We'll take care of it for you. Call IRG, and we'll get you in.
With convenient neighborhood locations, you never have to travel far. Visit irgpt.com to get scheduled today. That's irgpt.com. This hour is brought to you by the Harnish Auto family.
Need to know. Brought to you by Ben's Plumbing, Heating, and Air.
15 minutes past every hour with Brock and Salk.
Here's what you need to know. Up first.
Well, a short week before an even shorter week for the Seahawks, and they haven't even practiced yet, just a walkthrough yesterday. All right, should we start with the good news or the bad news? That's a rhetorical question. We're starting with the good news. Here is Mike McDonald first on Uchenna Nwosu.
Yeah, he'll be out there, and again, with all those guys, it's a process of, can we get them to the line? Are they feel comfortable? Is the best for them to go? I know all of them are chomping at the bit to get out there, but we're going to do what's best for them and what's best for us. So today's a walk, so it's hard to gain a bunch of insight on where they're going to be after today. Tomorrow we'll probably have a better idea.
Yeah, Nwosu wasn't placed on IR to start the season, ends up potentially just missing 4 games anyway. Another encouraging injury update. Cam Young's PUP list window was activated. He was put on there to start the season. So this is the first week you can have guys eligible to practice. He was activated, as Mike McDonald said yesterday. That is some good news there with Nwosu, with Cam Young. But 2 other guys not quite there yet.
Those guys, I believe, won't start practicing this week. Yeah, in case there's a hailstorm or something and we need to not practice. I don't know. Trying to always leave it out, so you guys don't get me in the corner.
So that would be Abe Lucas and Jarek Reed. The Abe Lucas one, certainly concerning. Brock and I will talk about that a little bit more coming up at 9 o'clock. Once you open a PUP window, teams have 21 days to put a guy back on the active roster. You're going to do that logically thinking they're not close yet. They're not going to come back and play that week, but you have 3 weeks to get him back out there. So the fact that Abe Lucas, they're not even going to activate that window yet, that is slightly concerning for the Seahawks offensive line. Now, as for the actual walkthrough yesterday, so again, not a real practice. You just kind of have to estimate what would have happened. The non-participants, Byron Murphy, Tyrell Dodson, and Boye Mafe. But the first real practice report and the first practice of the week, even though it comes on a Thursday, comes out later today.
Here's the second thing you need to know.
In the MLB playoffs, 3 of the 4 wildcard series ended last night, including in Houston, where the Tigers, America's team, as some are calling them, the vanquishers of evil, as others are calling them, they eliminated the Houston Astros.
Crowd on its feet. The 2-2. Swinging a liner. Caught at first by Torkelson. That's the ball game. The Tigers take game 1, 3-1. It got dicey down the stretch, but these Tigers One of the great surprises in baseball just to be here, take a giant step forward in Game 1.
Yeah, Detroit put together a 4-run rally in the 8th, including a 3-run pinch hit double off Josh Hader, 5-2 win. They take the series. They end that Astros long run of making a league championship series. So that comes to an end. They are swept. If you really want to embrace the misery of Houston right now, go look up a picture of Justin Verlander. He was beside himself after that loss. But, got to be tough for Verlander. Watches his old team get the win there. So the Astros are out of the postseason. And then some similar disappointment in Baltimore. The Royals swept the Orioles 2-1. Bobby Witt Jr. again came through in a big moment.
Bobby Witt, who has popped to second and popped out in foul ground to first. First pitch. He swings, laces it into left field. A base hit for Bobby Witt. Garcia jogs in from third and scores. And the Royals strike first in Game 1. It's 1-0 in the 6th.
It was actually Adley Rutschman's at bat, though, in the 5th. So that was in the 6th. They took the lead there. But Adley Rutschman's at bat in the 5th will kind of haunt Baltimore all winter. Up with the bases loaded, literally froze on a 2-0 pitch down the middle. He grounded out. The Orioles didn't score after that, and they lose. So Guardians, Tigers, and Yankees, Royals in the American League. In the National League, Padres swept the Braves behind a 5-run second. They held on for the 5-4 win. Padres, Dodgers, we already know that because MLB doesn't reseed. This is not the time to get frustrated about that, but they don't reseed in the playoffs, so it's Padres, Dodgers, and then Brewers, Mets is the only winner-take-all Game 3. That's later today at 4 o'clock, and the winner of that one will go and take on the Phillies.
Here's the third thing you need to know.
All right, we got a good old-fashioned Instagram like saga. Who hasn't gone through one of these before? Between Davante Adams and the Raiders. So after Antonio Pierce, the Raiders head coach, liked a post discussing a trade of Davante Adams, then Adams was asked about it by Kay Adams.
Yeah, I haven't heard from him. I haven't talked to him. So I haven't. I don't know. I don't really know exactly what that was about. Obviously, I got, social media is a beast. So it's a lot of people out there that saw it and wondering what's going on and people reaching out. And yeah, I haven't spoke to him.
What I'm hearing is that here's what a lot of people think you may never play another down as a Raider. What would you say to that?
All I can control is this talk we're having right here, and then after we're done with this, all I can control is the next thing that I'm on to. So I'm gonna get up in a minute and go get a nice workout in, and that's all I can control.
Pro sports. More gossipy sometimes than high school dramas with Instagram likes, who's unfollowed who has removed pictures of people in uniforms. That seems to be an off-season saga every year now. The Kyler Murray thing, this.
So I'm going to control what I can control. It has to be top of the list of all-time cliches.
Well, actually, so I have a question for you, Maura, because we'll get to your what's the official title? Fantasy Football Forecast at 9:45? Yeah.
Brett from Here's the Thing actually named it.
Okay, so we'll get to the Fantasy Football Forecast at 9:45, but what do those unlucky enough to have Davante Adams, like me, on their fantasy rosters do this week? Because there's some contention here. It's not a good situation right now. I mean, do you play him this week, or you have to make another alternative pick here?
I would be hesitant on that one.
I know.
Yeah.
All right, well, that pick has gone well for me. So that is almost everything you need to know. One more thing you do have to know, and it really has kind of jumped up on us because it always seems to happen this way. The hockey preseason is already over. Yeah, the Kraken had their preseason finale, beat the Oilers 6-2 last night. Shane Wright scored 2 goals. None of that matters. It's the preseason. But more importantly, the season opener is imminent. A 1:30 puck drop on Tuesday. Yeah, 1:30 on Tuesday against St. Louis. Clearly, there are things at play here not controlled by the Kraken, but part of a triple header on ESPN. So they started off, I guess everyone's going to be watching. Tough game to get to for those of us who are employed, but 1:30 on a Tuesday against St. Louis. The Kraken season begins on Tuesday. That's exciting, right? Are we hockey fans back there? Morris, Lyle, you got the Kraken hoodie on.
Yeah, I've got the hoodie on, but I never grew up watching hockey. Like, Seattle didn't have hockey.
Yeah.
So.
Well, NHL, they have other hockey.
No, that's true. Sorry. They had the Silvertips and the Thunderbirds. Sorry. They didn't have NHL hockey. My bad.
Okay.
Yeah, I've tried to get into it more as the Kraken have come back. So a little bit more than where I was at a few years ago, but still probably not like die hard.
All right. Well, get on the bandwagon now. It's not too late. new head coach, Dan Bilesma, has to be more exciting than Dave Haxtell. So maybe all that excitement can loop Lyle in as well. But that is everything you need to know. And I was a little excited in teasing the Daniel Jeremiah conversation. So just making everyone wait for it. But Daniel Jeremiah did say something that at first seemed stunning, but really, it's going to be the new reality for the Seahawks. You'll hear that when he joins Salk and Brock from yesterday up next. It's the Brock and Salk Show on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
The Mike McDonald Show, the first word from the head coach after every Seahawks game.
What'd you see from Gino?
They played a really good game. They gave him some hard things. The way they rush and like with Aiden there, you don't have forever back there. And so he's making fast decisions. I think our guys are getting their spots well. In the way the game played out, we needed them to do that. But the guys did what they needed to do to keep us, alive, keep us in the game. And there's a path to win the game. You got to give our guys credit for fighting it out the whole time.
Don't miss the Mike McDonald Show the morning after the Hawks game at 9:30 on Seattle Sports.
As fall and winter weather sets in, your lawn becomes a muddy mess, and your kids and pets bring the mud inside. But with Synthetic Turf Northwest, you can have a lush, green yard year-round. No mud, no mess. Their premium synthetic turf systems drain fast and stay clean, no matter how hard it rains. Right now, during the Fall Blitz, you can save up to $1,500 on a new synthetic lawn. So say goodbye to muddy paws and say hello to your dream lawn. Call Synthetic Turf Northwest today or visit syntheticturfnorthwest.com to get started.
O'Brien Auto Group has some of the best new car brands in the Northwest. Those great new vehicles make the best pre-owned vehicles as well. O'BrienAutoGroup.com for the best factory certified vehicles. O'BrienAutoGroup.com for a large selection of the best pre-owned cars and trucks. O'BrienAutoGroup.com. Choose from hundreds of SUVs, trucks, hybrids, EVs, and more. O'BrienAutoGroup.com. One site is all you need. That's OBRIEN Autogroup.com.
O'Brien.
Hey, Brock Ewart here, and I have had my share of sports injuries, and I know a little bit about pain. Well, that's what football will do to you from head to toe. But you don't have to play professional sports to know what I'm talking about. Painful joints from arthritis can affect anyone and make it hard to do pretty much anything. Well, that's where my friend, Dr. Daniel Nelson from Eastside Pain and Regenerative Medicine comes into play. He has seen so many patients through the years suffering from chronic joint pain caused by arthritis. So don't let pain stop you from your quality of life. Don't let pain stop you from enjoying life. Consider Dr. Nelson the only doctor with over 30 years of experience in pain medicine techniques, including stem cell therapy. It's a non-surgical solution to pain using your own stem cells. That's right, your own stem cells and platelet-rich plasma to harness your own body's healing potential. Consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Daniel Nelson, MD at 425-823-4000 or visit DanielNelsonMD.com. That's DanielNelsonMD.com.
True Work is the most technical workwear in the world, delivering modern solutions to timeless job site challenges. Innovation meets tradition in True Work's high-performance lineup of work pants, shirts, and jackets, all engineered to give you the comfort and protection you need, especially in the most extreme conditions. Check out the full lineup with over 50,000 five-star reviews at truework.com and use the code SPORTS15 to get 15% off your first order. That's TRUEWERK.com. True Work helps you be your best when the weather's at its worst.
When you're on a business trip, you know what goes completely off the rails? Your workout routine, especially when you book a hotel that doesn't have a gym. So what ends up happening is you do a few push-ups and sit-ups in your room, run around the block, or just skip it entirely. Lame. If you just stay at La Quinta by Wyndham, you'll discover there's a fully equipped fitness center at every location. Now you can wake up and power your buys and tries the right way or de-stress with some cardio. The choice is yours. Tonight, La Quinta, tomorrow you shine. Book direct at lq.com.
Bonneville International radio station contests are open to participants 18 years of age or older that are residents of Washington State unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contests are not eligible to win unless the station otherwise specifies at its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 60 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. Full general contest rules are available on seattlesports.com or in person at the station during regular business hours.
Hawks Live.
Thursday nights from 7 to 9.
Live from Bellevue Square Center Court.
Gino Smith has himself a day.
Presented by the Dining District of the Bellevue Collection.
On Seattle Sports.
It's football season, and that means colder weather is on the way. If it's time to update your windows and doors, talk to Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington. Local owner Keith Dashafee has a great deal just for you.
That's right, Steve. Now you can get 20% off qualifying installations or 0% financing for 24 months with equal payments. Just schedule a free consultation with Pella Windows and Doors at PellaPNW.com.
Thanks, Keith. Check out the unbeatable selection of windows and doors today at PellaPNW.com. That's PellaPNW.com.
This is Stacey Rost. Is that leaky faucet driving you crazy? Don't wait until it becomes a flood. Call Ben's Plumbing, Heating, and Air. At Ben's Plumbing, they pride themselves on 5-star service, where your satisfaction is their priority. Whether it's a stubborn clog or a complete plumbing overhaul, their team of dedicated professionals is here to help with no commission sales tactics. Just honest, reliable service you can count on. Call today at 206-789-5353 or visit Ben's.plumbing. That's Ben's.plumbing.
You know, someone asked me the other day, do you know how many devices the average home has connected to their Wi-Fi network? It's way more than I thought. So I actually went home and counted how many connected devices in my home. It is more than a dozen, all to keep us connected to the good stuff, our streaming, gaming, all the interneting, you name it. Well, Xfinity knows that the number of devices we have connected to our internet is growing by the year. And that's why they engineered their gateways to handle hundreds of connected devices, hundreds for real. And now through October 10th, get 150 megabit Xfinity internet for just $19.99 a month for 12 months with a 1-year contract, and ask how to get an eligible free 5G phone with Xfinity Mobile. Make sure your home Wi-Fi can handle everything you throw at it and then some. Visit Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store to switch today. Xfinity, bring on the good stuff. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with store bank account. Equipment taxes and fees extra after promo. Regular rates apply. Xfinity Mobile requires Xfinity Internet. Actual speeds vary. 1-800-XFINITY.
Brock and Salk's Rewind is presented by Toyota of Kirkland.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Brock and Salk.
Weekdays 6 to 10.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Text machine, very split on melatonin. Melatonin, not a drug. How dare you, Salk? Doctor here, melatonin, not good, especially in high doses.
Really?
A lot of people saying your body makes it naturally, Brock. You got to be really careful with that. Melatonin, you shouldn't need to take it very often. There's a lot of great techniques for sleep or insomnia, like no screens for at least 30 minutes before bed, blackout curtains. So
interesting.
It's a mixed text machine.
Well, I'm taking like 50 milligrams of melatonin. Okay. So ask that doctor if that's.
I don't. You know what? I'm not going to do that. You ask your own doctor whether that's good enough. We got Daniel Jeremiah for the next half hour, as we do every Wednesday at this time, and I'm sure he's in an excellent mood after his Padres got an exhausted Atlanta team yesterday, flew across the country after the excitement of the doubleheader, and ran into a buzzsaw. They blew him out. Nice job, San Diego. DJ, how we doing?
I'm doing great. First of all, in lieu of melatonin, you could just watch, you could watch the Mariners try and hit. That'll put you to sleep.
Whoa.
But you guys, you would love the postseason, man. You guys would absolutely love it. It's a treat, man. It's so much fun. I'm gonna go to the game tonight. I'm gonna head down to Petco. It's an exciting thing. You guys would love it. I'm telling you. You guys should really experience
bigger
that.
buzzsaw of an arena. Petco Park for the playoffs or Ford Field last Monday night?
Yeah, I think both teams were kind of they were entering into the lion's den, so to speak, with that one. Petco gets rocking, especially Tatis is kind of the one who everybody's there to see. If you look out in the stands and you see that's the jersey that's everywhere. Every little kid's got a Tatis jersey. So when he hits a bomb like that early, that place explodes. But on the football side of things,
when you get those Tatis jerseys for kids, do they come with steroids or do you have to buy those separately?
It's included. It's included,
nice.
But in a very small dose.
Right. Only if you get the City Connects. Then they come with a little side note of some roids. It's nice.
Yeah, that's fine. And you know what? He's the first guy that's ever done it too. So
isn't that nice?
The Mariners have not had any of those issues.
No. In fact, they should have more of them. Yeah.
Maybe that's why you guys aren't in the postseason.
Not enough roids.
But in terms of like the Lions, I was asked about that on Tuesday. We were doing a podcast, and it was like, what do you take away from that game? And I'm like, on the Seahawks side of things, nothing. Like, that was an environment you walked into, down as many players defensively as they were. And once they got kind of their play action game going, that's a nightmare. So that's going to be very difficult for anybody to defend. I came away thinking, I'm the Seahawks. I go, okay, Gino could go toe-to-toe in a shootout, and you're going to find yourself in one of those games in the postseason, if not more. And I thought with the firepower they had on offense that they were there and they were in the game. And if not for DK fumbling and maybe a missed pass interference penalty, you're really, really in the game. So I came away from that saying I don't feel any different about the Seahawks than I did going in.
Is Detroit the best team in the league?
I picked them to go to the Super Bowl on the NFC side. You know what? Who's actually playing the best right now is probably Minnesota, just in terms of offensively, they're explosive. Defensively, they're so aggressive with Flores and the way they're playing there. I mean, I don't know that they're the best team. I don't think Minnesota's the best team. But if you're saying who's playing the best on both sides, I would say I would take Minnesota from that standpoint.
I guess for me it would be both, right? It's a combination of who's playing the best and who do you think is the best based on their personnel and sort of trying to, look ahead to what they'll do in the future. I don't know, watching that Detroit game, it got real hard for me not to say that they didn't look like they're as good as any team in football right now. I was just pretty blown away by by how complete they are.
Yeah, their design on offense is excellent, and they have the personnel that matches beautifully with it. So they can smash you, and then once you start committing to the run, their play action game is lethal. They create that separation between the second and third level of the defense, and there's just these huge holes. And to take advantage of those holes, you got big time slot receiver, you got big time tight end. So they're really perfectly built on offense. Defensively, I mean, they gave up almost 400 yards to Gino, and that's not including all the pass interference penalties that you would tack on top of that. So I would say that would be the one area of concern, and it was their secondary going into the offseason. And they did a lot of focus on that in terms of the draft and even in what they did in bringing in Carlton Davis. But I worry about them a little bit against the pass.
We had a little fun an hour ago, DJ, on the show. We were giving away some Madden games with little game shows and trivia with some of our audience and listeners. We went in the Wayback Machine through the years with different things that have been done on the show. I bet you if there's one theme on this show over 15 years more than any other that Salk and I both love, whether it's the Mariners, the Seahawks, college teams, is how you build them. How this team was built. How are you going to do this just organizationally to be consistent and have a message and really, just pay off what you say you're going to do? Detroit strikes me as maybe the best in all the NFL of just being exactly who they say they're going to be. How have they done that, building that team?
Well, I think there's a lot of people that give lip service at the press conference when they get hired. We're going to be a more physical team, and we're going to win on the line of scrimmage. Well, their actions match their words. They've invested in the offensive line. They've invested in the defensive line. They got those picks right. So that's the first part of it. You go out and get physical players, and then you install a scheme that allows them to play fast and physical, and that's what they've done from that standpoint. So you've got the messaging, then you've got the acquiring, and then you've got the implementing. They've kind of nailed all three portions of that whole process. And I think there's teams, if you look at the consistent teams, if I just think about teams like Baltimore and Pittsburgh, they're there every year. They're right there every single year, and it's because they 100% know who they are. And if they ever do kind of waver off of that path, then the next thing you know, they go out and they sign Derrick Henry, and they get right back to who they were. So those teams that know exactly what they are and who they are tend to be the most consistent. I think that's across any sport.
Yes.
I don't think that's just a football thing.
This is probably a theoretical question that will never really get answered because no team would ever do this, but what do you think it would look like if a team had an elite quarterback, like an excellent quarterback, top 5 or 10 quarterback, and then drafted and spent money only on big people? Just all, like every first round pick was an offensive or defensive lineman. You only spent money up front, and then you kind of filled in around behind them with whatever you could find, late round wide receivers, running backs off the street, etc. Do you think that team would be successful, or would it be a total disaster?
I don't know that there's an answer. I see a small glimpse of it. I mean, with the Chargers, I would think we would all agree Herbert's, a top 10 quarterback for sure, however higher up you want to go on that list. But they've had to kind of rework this roster, and salary cap was a big part of that. But Keenan Allen, Mike Williams gone. You're trying to implement and develop a young guy like Ladd McConkey, who's a good player. But there's really no true, star wide receiver. They invest the first-round pick, not in Malik Neighbors, but in Joe Alt to try and double down along the line of scrimmage. They had the decision between the two wide receivers, the two edge rushers. They keep Mack and Bosa. So they've kind of gone that strategy of we're going to invest in the big people in terms of who we re-sign and who we draft. But I do think, with a great quarterback, it's easy to say they'll just elevate the play of all the talent around them and the wide receivers. I still think you need some guys that can win, particularly on third down. There's just going to be those times in a game, where you're 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7, and you like to look out there and know that I've got one guy that I can count on that can win every single time.
DJ, do you think Gino can ever change the narrative? We played some sound of Cowherd this morning, and we all know that Gino's just a B player. We all know that he's just a tier 3 player. Do you think there's anything Gino can do this year? Right now he's leading the league in yards. Right now he's leading the league in completion percentage. Right now he's played phenomenal ball. A couple interceptions that are on his ledger, not his fault, tipped, thrown late in the game. Do you think there's anything Gino can ever do in a season to say, nope, he actually is an A quarterback?
I think it's sadly, and the dumb thing is the guy was a first-round pick. He came into the league with bona fides. He was a first-round pick, right? Am I not?
No, he sat in the green room. Yep, the entire.
Okay. He was my top quarterback that year. So it was E.J. Manuel, right? E.J. Manuel ended up being a first-round pick.
He was the first.
That draft?
Yep, 16 in Buffalo. Yep.
Yeah, that's a shame. I went and saw Gino in the Yankee Stadium in the Pinstripe Bowl, which I didn't know. I literally went to Yankee Stadium in a snow storm and watched Gino play quarterback there. But he should have been a first-round pick. He was the best quarterback in his draft class. I would say, gosh, you have to make a deep run in the postseason. I would love to go back because it seems so long ago. But when Brady even was winning early, even when they were winning Super Bowls, just because pick 199 and he wasn't the Tom Brady we all know now, I'm sure if we went back and listened to talk radio that he wasn't getting a lot of credit for.
I was there.
Salk was on the airwaves.
I grew up in New England. I can tell you all about what that was like, and that's exactly what it was. I would love to know. It was that. Nationally, the story was all Brady does is throw screens. Right? He never throws the ball down the field. He's a system guy. He's a game manager. He just throws these little screen passes to David Givens and Troy Brown and guys out of the backfield, and he's really just not all that good. I think if you were to listen to sports radio locally in Boston, you would have heard a lot of people that were just still mad that Belichick had gone with Brady over Bledsoe, and so that might not be like the single best way of analyzing what people were saying. But absolutely, the story was system quarterback who is just a game manager and throws screen passes. It really didn't change until 2007 when Randy Moss got there.
Yeah, that's crazy. And then he has the huge year. But, I think there's a difference between people inside the league and football people and what they think of Gino and how he's played versus maybe what the perception might be elsewhere outside. What I'm getting at with where I was saying where he was picked is this wasn't somebody that's just the overachiever, someone who's got a hot stretch of games, but it's going to be one of those, good from far but far from good, and he's not going to be able to maintain it. Like, he had bona fides, he can make every throw. He's very talented. And then he wasn't in the right situations. He's found himself in the right situation, and now he's playing at a really high level. It goes on and finishes the year leading the league in passing yards. I don't know how you can poo-poo that and say he's a B quarterback. What
comes to mind is a couple years ago when we had these conversations, he became comeback player of the year, and the only name that really came to mind was Rich Gannon. And I guess when Rich Gannon was leading the Raiders to the Super Bowl, did he ever become an A quarterback? Wasn't he the MVP? Was he the MVP of the league?
Yeah, it was MVP of the league. Yeah. So, yeah, and so that maybe that's your blueprint there.
Yeah.
But honestly, if you're Gino,
It does matter because he's pissed. It does. Yeah, it does. It does. Yes, it does. It does matter, and it does matter to his people, and it does matter because you know what? I want to get paid.
Matters with salary. Yeah,
I want to. I'm a $50 million quarterback. This is a joke that Trevor Lawrence is getting 50 and Tua's getting 50, and I'm comeback player of the year, and I'm doing this, and I'm efficient, and I'm winning games, and I had more touchdowns in the fourth quarter comebacks last year, and I'm not viewed as a $50 million quarterback.
What do you think? Do you think the Carolina Panthers would give him $50 million after this year? And maybe another 5 or 6 teams might be willing to do that? I mean, he's going to find his value whether or not Seattle wants to do it or not. Somebody's going to step up and give it to him. He keeps playing like this.
What is talking to Daniel Jeremiah as we do every week at this time?
I think Brock just grunted right
He
there.
grunts all the time.
No. You know what that was, DJ? I'll tell you exactly what that was. That was not sitting on a fart or anything. That was that's going to be good sports radio topic right there. Dave Canales is in Carolina. Dave Canales was there when he was a QB coach and helped Gino become comeback player of the year.
It's the sound Brock and many other people make as soon as they see Dave Canales.
I thought
that's a handsome man.
I was waiting for him to say na 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 na.
Yeah, like Master P. I know you like to bring up your draft analysis from a few years ago. I don't know that you have Jackson Smith and Jigba's around, but in watching him, Brock and I got into a little conversation about him yesterday, and trying to he's a good player. And Moore pointed out he's a third down, machine, and turning those into first downs. What is the upside there? Does he have the same kind of top receiver upside that we've seen from some of the other Ohio State guys who were there at the same time, whether it's Wilson or Olave or now Marvin Harrison? Is this somebody who can be a do-everything wide receiver?
And can I give you one, as you're digging that, can I give you one name?
Yeah,
actually,
what year, by the way, real quick?
2 years ago.
2 years, just 2 years ago.
He was a rookie last year.
Mm-hmm. The name to me, the name to me is actually the guy the Seahawks just faced, who's kind of a slot guy, I think of similar build. Yeah, can he be Amon-Ra St. Brown?
Yeah, that's a fair comparison. Let me dig up the report here. Pulling it up, I had him behind Jordan Addison. Here we go. Primarily lined up in the slot for the Buckeyes. Did get some work on the outside. Compact build, strong lower. Very productive playing alongside Garrett Wilson and Olave at Ohio State, but he missed all but 3 games in 22 to injury. Doesn't have ideal top speed, but he gets to full speed quickly. He's polished as a route runner, leaning on defenders, quickly getting in and out of breaks. Strong hands and thrives in the middle of the field so he can pluck the ball while absorbing contact. Has some power and wiggle after the catch, but lacks a second gear. Overall, Smith and Jigba reminds me of Amon-Ra St. Brown, and I believe he'll make a similar impact in the NFL. I'm not making that up. That's the report. Not making it up.
Wow. Yeah, sometimes you look into these things, Brock. I ask the question, you make the comp, and there you go.
I didn't even give you a Tungus grunt right there.
No.
I could have done it again.
Pretty amazing.
Yeah.
I was really reading that going like, oh my God, he really, we stumbled on one right there.
Yeah.
So could he be? I mean, because if he's Amon-Ra St. Brown eventually, it does sort of change the way you view your offense, your future, some of the decisions you've got to make.
But Amon-Ra St. Brown, to me, has that gear. Can you go back now? I hate to make you do this. Can go back.
Yeah, no, but Amon-Ra wasn't that fast. I think that he was a 4.5 guy.
Oh, was he really? See, so you know what's interesting? Just so much background because here and Pete was so transparent with us. They went to that Ohio State Pro Day, and you'll remember that Jackson had a hamstring that whole 22 and didn't run at the combine. And I was like, ooh. I'd really like to see him run because that's the only question I have. Does he have that next gear? And he wasn't going to run at even the pro day. And I think Pete may have played a strong role in John and those Seahawks and getting to people and saying, we just like to see him compete. We would just like to see a time. And I believe that time was in the mid 4.5s. Is that where
Amon-Ra St. Brown, 5.114, 197. He ran 4.59. And that was at his pro day.
Wow.
So this was the notes on him. He's a pros pro at the interviews. Everybody loved him through the interview process. Obviously, Dad, Mr. Universe. Excellent slot, tough, very instinctive. He'll work in traffic. They give him shovels. He's just real physical with the ball in his hands. He's an efficient mover more so than an explosive mover.
Interesting. That is a lot of this guy. But drafted him where they did.
But here's the thing, though, Brock, but because they built this system so well where you invest in the offensive line. It's power runs. You go back and watch the play actions in this game. The Seahawks linebackers are 1 yard off the line of scrimmage. I mean, you are having to play downhill, and now that void is created behind you, and now I've got in the slot versus being outside, I've got a three-way go, and I've got the whole field to work with because there's so much separation between the second and third levels. So it's not – I don't think that you just take Amon-Ra St. Brown, and that's why I was maybe a little surprised they paid him as much as they paid him, because I wasn't so sure that if you just plopped him in any offense, in any system, that you would get this production. He is perfect for how they've designed and built that roster in Detroit, and that's what – if you're hoping to get the same type of impact from Smith and Jigba, you know, that's going to be kind of the blueprint for you to use.
And isn't that a lot of what they're trying to do here? I mean,
they're getting there. Yeah,
they're not the same.
I don't think their offensive line is the same, though. They're just not. They're not as good up front as Detroit.
Do you think that's what Mike McDonald wants? Do you think ultimately I know we've talked a lot about Baltimore as being sort of the goal. Is Detroit kind of maybe right there also as the type of model we could be looking at?
I think Detroit, though, can give you just a more diverse and dynamic and explosive passing attack than what Baltimore can. And that's, even with Lamar winning MVPs, it's just different. They can do more things.
Isn't that what Ryan Grubb should be offering to this offense?
Mm-hmm.
Something more akin to Detroit than Baltimore?
I would say if you're going to give me a blueprint, especially based off where they start with the personnel that they have right now, I would be paying more attention to Detroit than Baltimore.
This is probably offensive, and I don't want to get you in trouble with your friends in the league, but the G-Men are coming into town. We all watch. Salk and I love the Hard Knocks front office more than any of the Hard Knocks the last 5 or 6 years. I mean, it was just amazing. Again, playing to what we love and team build and contracts and all that other awkward stuff that went down. 32 NFL teams. Of those 32, how many front offices and organizations are as awkward as the Giants were perceived to be in that Hard Knocks program? Awkward's not the right word. That was a bad question. I shouldn't frame it that way.
But here's what I would say, and I think I assume that it's like this in every industry. It's not just what I've seen in the NFL, and I'm sure it's like this in the banking industry and in all other walks of life. You assume when you get to the highest level of a profession that it's going to be this well-oiled machine, the biggest, the best, the brightest, the most well-run thing. And then I remember going out to one of my first practices when I got into the NFL in scouting and going out there and watching, and you're watching maybe a position coach. And after a week, I'm like, this is the National Football League. I think my high school coach was a better teacher than this specific, position coach at the NFL. It doesn't always, and I think that's maybe just a peek behind the curtain. I think everybody just kind of assumes that once you get to that level that everything is a well-oiled machine, and it's not like that. And and to be honest with you, and not to get in a philosophical thing, but I do think like there's a real reason that imposter syndrome is real, why people think I could never do that. I could never, climb to the top of this ladder or the other ladder. And it's like, wait a second, you guys aren't giving yourself enough credit. You've made everything out to be this unattainable goal, and these people are just well beyond everyone else in what they do. And they're just like the rest of us.
Isn't that a lot of what Mike McDonald sounds like, Salt? Honestly, we asked him so many different questions yesterday, and he's like, no, they were good. Like, we got good play. They got good play. Like, I don't think Mike treats any of this as bigger. Now, he's vulnerable and he's super transparent, right? But I think Mike nails that one in the sense that, no, they're all just players, and there's really good players, and we just need more really good players. And, he's just not he's just not overwhelmed. And it feels like it's certainly in that docuseries, and you could frame it any different ways. There were a lot of people that felt very overwhelmed at times.
Mm-hmm. But I've seen it. I've worked for 3 different teams and 3 different organizations, and I've been, and I'll give the Ravens credit. That is the least chaotic environment that I've been in. But I've been in draft rooms before, and you like, it is not calm, cool, and collected. It is like a fire drill, and you're like, holy crap! Like, this probably should have had this decision made a couple months ago.
Yes.
So it's not all smooth sailing. It's not smooth sailing like Michael King was sailing last night, I can tell you.
All right.
What was that? 13 Ks.
Wow. Very
12 punchy, 7 innings. Yeah.
It's Padres Tigers World Series for me. Just my two good buddies, Daniel Jeremiah,
Go back
Jason
to 84.
Benetti. Let's
That's
go.
what I said
Yes.
yesterday.
Steve Garvey. Let's go.
See if it ends better for the Padres.
I hope Alan Trammell's not walking through that door.
Yeah, Lou Whitaker. There's some
Jack
dudes
Morris
on that team.
Yeah.
All right, DJ, thank you as always. Good luck to your Padres this week, and we'll talk on Wednesday.
Always enjoy it. You guys be good.
All right, sounds like it'll be a happy Daniel Jeremiah then after the Padres won last night, so they're taking on the Dodgers. I'm sure that will be brought up next week as well. But one thing he said in there about Gino Smith, we talked about to start the show. It's already lighting up our text line, the Mac and Jack's text line. We're going to talk about it with Brock. $50 million for Gino Smith. There seems to be a thought that you have to pay him. We'll talk about that. Brock will join us. We'll get it all started with the Gino Smith conversation. A lot more coming up as well. Jason Benetti will join us at 9:30. Jeff Passon will join us at 8:30, and then here's the thing, at 8 o'clock. So we have plenty to get to around the Seahawks, and we'll get some injury updates. There's one coming out of the Giants side that could be good news for Seattle. All of that coming up next on the Brock and Salk Show on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
Get ready for Thursday Night Football. Seattle Sports has your chance to win 4 tickets to watch the Seahawks host the San Francisco 49ers October 10th.
Holy catfish!
Head to the Seattle Sports app, click the Win tab in the bottom right corner, and enter for your chance to win. You can enter once per day, so the more times you enter via the Seattle Sports app, the better your odds will be.
Touchdown, Seahawks!
Listen to it every day, October 2nd through October 7th. Details and rules at seattlesports.com/win.
Build better benefits for your employees with the MBA Health Trust. The Master Builders Association of King and Snohomish Counties offers quality and affordable health benefits for local construction businesses. Learn more at mbahealthtrust.com.
Hey, it's Dr. Coogan with Eastside Weight Loss Clinic. Summer's over and you've had your fun, but now it's time to get back on track. Stop feeling frustrated and overwhelmed and start being excited about the new you that's possible. We want to be your teammate. No gimmicks, no tricks, no drugs. Just teaching you how to turn your body into a fat-burning machine and keep it off for the long term. We know the secret for fast and lasting weight loss using real healthy foods and lifestyle strategies designed to reset your metabolism. Schedule your free consultation online at eastsideweightlossclinic.com.
I really appreciated how fast the program works. I lost 35 pounds in 8 weeks. I think I dropped 20 in just the first 3. It's pretty incredible. And in terms of the healthiness, yeah, it's real food that you're buying at the grocery store.
Our program has successfully helped thousands of people lose 20 to 30 pounds or more in just 60 days. You can start our program in person in Kirkland or virtually from anywhere you live. Schedule your free phone consultation today by calling 425-588-0080 or eastsideweightlossclinic.com.
Dr. Ryan Coogan, D.C. Results may vary.
Looking for Seahawks tickets? Sign up for text notifications to receive alerts about last-minute ticket availability and offers. Simply text the word Seahawks to 71211. Go Hawks!
At the UPS Store, we understand the importance of a first impression. That's why we're here to help you put your best foot forward and be unstoppable with our printing services. With high-quality paper stock options, banners, business cards, menus, and more, we make sure your small business stands out and your message reaches the masses. After all, we're the one-stop prints that pop store. Most locations are independently owned. Product, services, prices, and hours of operation may vary. See Center for details. The UPS Store. Be unstoppable. Come into your local store today and get your print on.
Hi, welcome to Staples. Hi, I hear Staples can print everything for my business. Sure can. And the quality is guaranteed? Absolutely. Plus, you'll beat any price quote. Is that right? For sure. How about this one? We'll beat it. Can you print menus, signs, and flyers? Sure can. How about blueprints? No problem. What about red prints? Not a real thing. What if they were? We'd print them. And they'd look amazing.
Now at Staples, print more, save more. Up to $150 off your print purchase. Ends 11/2. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for offer details and staples.com/price match for in-store price match guarantee.
Natchez RV Resort Phase 2 is open. Reserve your showing now for this weekend. Ty, tell us about it.
Our Phase 2 features a release of 12 extra-large RV lots starting at only $89.9, complete with full hookups. Don't have an RV? Come see a stunning turnkey park model. It's the perfect way to make Natchez RV your home away from home.
Natchez RV Resort has 300 days of sunshine and year-round family fun. Fishing, hunting, snow skiing, golf, river rafting, outstanding wine tasting, and more.
Our 4,300 square foot clubhouse is now open with gourmet kitchen, great room, fitness center, showers, and laundry. laundry.
Completed are the pickleball courts, playground, dog park, and miles of recreational trails. The saltwater swimming pool and hot tub are just a few weeks away. So reserve your showing now for this weekend, featuring 12 extra large lots from just $89.9. 800-422-6009. 800-422-6009. NatchisRVResort.com.
Hi, I'm Stuart Holmes, Elections Director for Washington State. Washington's general election is November 5th. Visit votewa.gov by October 28th to register online or make sure your registration is up to date. After October 28th, register in person at a county elections office or voting center until 8 p.m. Election Day. Secure your vote. Register today.
Sponsored by the Office of Secretary of State and aired in cooperation with the Washington State Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports.
This hour of the Brock and Salk Show is powered by Star Rentals, preferred supplier to the West's best contractors.
Give me a freaking auto! From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Brock and Salk on Seattle Sports.
I don't read the internet, guys.
Take the bull by the hands.
Styled by Simply Seattle.
And Brooke Eward. And Brooke Eward.
Now here are your hosts, Brock Eward and Mike Salk.
Well, happy Thursday. A lot going on today. A lot of Seahawks things we have to talk about. And Brock, good morning. We've already lit the text line aflame. There's already a passionate debate happening about something that I think we're going to talk about here, about one Gino Smith.
Did you do that, or did Maura do that?
No, we both. I mean, Maura did it yesterday. The whole internet was just a chaotic mess of arguing.
You feel good about that, Maura? Maura, you feel good about that? You feel good about stirring people up like that? Like Salk
just
gets
a messenger
sick.
of Daniel Jeremiah's gospel.
No,
I don't know.
Salk gets sick, and all of a sudden you feel like, well, I'm the other Northeast person in the building. I guess I got to take his role and just stir it up. Yeah, what did the old man Muppets think about old Daniel Jeremiah's comments to us yesterday?
I think they're waiting to get to that until this afternoon. One, because they weren't necessarily aware of it. You know, everything's a little delayed a little bit in the afternoon. But no, it certainly was a big talking point this morning, and then we just heard from him again, and the fact that I think you throw that number out there, Brock, and that becomes sticker shock, right? You say $50 million. Yep. And the perception of Gino Smith, longtime career backup, $50 million. You attach those two, it doesn't seem palatable. But to me, it feels like you have to do this. You can't go backwards now. There is no in-between in the NFL. It's so tough to find a quarterback. I don't know where you land on this, but to me, it feels like whatever the cost is, you might have to pay it because Gino Smith is playing like that level quarterback right now.
Yeah, I think that commentary for me, Mike, yesterday with Daniel Jeremiah brought me back to the trade of Russell, first and foremost, because that opened the door for Gino. The fact that that trade goes down in Broncos history is the worst in the NFL all time. Like from Denver territory in the Rocky Mountains, they look at that and go, wow. And the fact that obviously cost Hackett his job, but not George Payton, their GM, it still baffles people there because they honestly, if you look at, just what they gave up and the purgatory they find themselves in for years financially and all of that, So that opened the door. And then on top of that, not only was that, if it was the worst in the history of the NFL for the Broncos, well, probably the best in the history of the franchise for the Seahawks. And then on top of it, Mike, and I felt this way when that deal got done, I think we all looked at the sticker shock initially of Gino's deal, right? When he signed it, it was like 3 years, over $100 million. I'm like, what? How? That's a lot of. And then you looked at it and you're like, oh no, this is a great deal. This is kind of like the trade. This is a great deal. This is a year-by-year performance contract where he's got to go out there and be better than he was in his comeback player of the year season statistically in order to get the escalators and really make his money. And, obviously the market played a role in that. The market at that point was not willing to pay Gino Smith a ton of dough, and it was really a prove-it deal. And he's in year 2 of 3 of that prove-it deal. And man, Mike, he is proving, to your point, that he's exceeded the rate return on investment on that deal in my mind.
Well, Brock, I'll throw it out there again. The Mac and Jack's text line, 866-979-3776. I know you love to rattle off those numbers as well sometimes. But, simple question. Would you pay Gino Smith $50 million a year? So chime in, whatever you want. You can text us. You can tweet at us as well. That can be your Here's the Thing for next week. I know we have that coming up at 8 o'clock. But there are some nuances that you can do with this as well, right? Because we talk about a per-year value. And when we stack it up, and you mentioned the $25 million per year, which is such a bargain right now, and that's the common way to kind of look at quarterback contracts. But as you were getting into, you can do so many things to dress up these contracts to make them team-friendly. It doesn't have to be front-loaded. It doesn't have to be flush with guaranteed money. You can make this performance-based. You can put the final year of the deal with all the money in there. So when it gets broken down like that, it's a good, easy way to kind of dissect and talk about it. But none of us, you, me, all of our listeners, even though they are some of the brightest minds I know out there, none of us know the intricacies of a contract like these teams do and what they can kind of maneuver to make it work. And with the situation you're in, it just feels like, again, you're going into that answer. You want to talk about purgatory. You're going into QB purgatory if you don't re-sign Gino Smith.
Yes, the real challenge with that is a birthday that's coming up here
next week, a week from today, actually.
Yeah, and
I just looked that up because
did you really?
I knew that was going to be a discussion point. The age, certainly.
Yeah.
So October 10th, Gino turns 34.
He turns 34. 34. And I know quarterbacks in the position, and you play longer, but you also saw with Russell. What is Russell? I think Russell Wilson's a little older than that, or right around that age as well. And now Gino doesn't have the wear and the tear, right? Gino has not been a starter for that many years in the league, certainly by our eye test. And what we see from Gino is he's kept himself in tremendous shape. He's the fastest, this offseason going into all of their training than we had seen him, hitting some 21 miles an hour on their catapult system. And, there's nothing to your eye that says this guy is a descending, aging player. And yet that number, Father Time, is real. I mean, 34 is not Trevor Lawrence, right? And you look at some of these other contracts, and that's I think how I kind of framed it to Daniel. Like, hey, man, if Tua's making 50 and Trevor's making 50 and these guys are all making 50, and that's where the starting franchise QB money is, I mean, what is Gino going to do next August? What is he going to do if he performs this way? And that's the key too, Mike, right? Like, he's got to play at this level.
Yeah.
And this level for 4 games has been phenomenal. Can he play and continue to play at this level, leading the league in yards passing? Can he play at this level, leading the league in completion percentage, right? If he does those things, by the way, he hits escalators. I reached out to Brady to say, hey, man, if he hits these escalators going into year 3, what are we looking at? And it is somewhere next year between 40 and 50 million bucks. Now, if he gets to the playoffs and, he wins 10-plus games and he plays, X number of snaps and all of the things and incentives that are baked into that. But, I mean, he does have an opportunity. If they go to the playoff, they win a Super Bowl, it's another $5 million or something crazy. So, I mean, there's going to be some money there. But I know the concern. And what is it? What would you say the text toy is? Split?
Yeah. No, I think, honestly, it's slightly more Gino right now.
Is it really?
It might be like 55-45, pushing up towards 60-40. You're making me do radio math.
No, that's fine. No, I'm sorry. No, Mike, I don't want to do that.
It is pro pay Gino.
It is pro pay Gino.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because right now, the sample size is small enough, especially with Ryan Grubb, that it's fantastic. And yes, you have to extrapolate that over the full course of a season when defenses might adjust. But from what we're going on now, and we can only go on what we have on the tape, you love to say the eye in the sky don't lie.
The eye in the sky
you have
don't
your
lie.
phrases. That,
yes,
by the way, I thought you were going to drop it in on Saturday.
Developers.
You got close.
Developers. I did. Location.
You did.
Completions. one of my triplets right there.
It jumped out to me. So yeah, you talk about that. The eye in the sky, and that shows right now that Gino Smith's playing at an elite level.
Yep. I think the other thing too, Mike, is, and again, we will see through adversity of an NFL season. This stretch of the schedule is very adverse. 3 games in 11 days. What's looming with the Niners, a team that he's been, and this team has been unable to beat, not just him individually, but collectively the last few years. I mean, time will be, thankfully will help us play this out. But the other aspect, and remember what he said, and I believe it was to Jeremy Fowler in training camp when he came out in the preseason and said what he wanted to do better. And that was also along the lines of, like, be a steady, great teammate. And I think at times off of the field, and this is where it gets a little speculative, and people are like, "Wow, why would you say that?" I think he's been at times a little hot-headed. I think at times he's been a little bit of a challenge because he's so competitive. And I think what I'm also seeing is the guys following him, right, and just believing in him. And that is going to be, to me, like one of those things behind the scenes. Is it intrinsic? Is that what I'm looking for? Like one of those things that we can't measure by the stats.
Yep.
But they will feel, Mike McDonald and Ryan Grubb will feel, and John Schneider will feel, is like, man, if this locker room, you win that locker room and you have that locker room and these guys lay it all on the line for you because you lay it all on the line for them and you have connective tissue with them, then you know what? That's just a number. And that's a number that you work around and you pay him and he earns it. And, the next 6, 7, 8 weeks will certainly play into that.
Hey, Brock, we got a big show coming up.
Yes,
it's going to be fun. A lot happening today.
I know. Assault got sick, had a sore throat yesterday and everything else. I kind of sensed it coming. So I was like, what about Passon for Lefko? What about Benetti for Lefko?
The Syracuse show. I appreciate it.
Why don't we take care of Lefko? If he's got to get up in the early hours of, and you were up late last night as I was texting you, like, what about taking care of Lefko? So we tried to do that today, Michael.
I was up late because I thought you wouldn't be here. There was a little issue.
We had a little scared. Don't worry about that. Not for air. Not for air.
No? Okay. All right. All good now. We're fixed. We're ready to go.
Yes,
Brock, we also want to get you ready for Thursday Night Football.
Developers.
You got him going.
Come on.
Developers.
Why does this have to happen?
Come on, Mark. Yeah. Come on, Lyle.
It's still dark out. It's too early for this.
You tried to tell me yesterday. It's like, you probably don't know who this is.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm trying to give away tickets to fans and our loyal listeners, Brock, but you had to develop all over that. So, I'm trying to say get ready for Thursday Night Football. Your Seahawks are taking on the 49ers, and Seattle Sports looking to give away 4 tickets to watch this rivalry in person. All you need to do, open the Seattle Sports app and click the Win tab to find out how. If you don't already have the app, simply text app to 866-979-3776. We'll send you a link to download. Enter daily to increase your chances to win, and this contest runs through this upcoming Monday, October 7th. We talked about the Niners a little bit, but Brock, there's a game coming up this weekend, and there are some important injury updates on both the Seahawks and the Giants side. We'll get to that info coming up in Need to Know. This is the Brock and Salk Show. Mike Lefko and Brock Huard with you on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
The Mike McDonald Show, the first word from the head coach after every Seahawks game.
What'd you see from Gino?
They played a really good game. They gave him some hard things. The way they rush, and like with Aiden there, you don't have forever back there. And so he's making fast decisions. I think our guys are getting their spots well. In the way the game played out, we needed them to do that. But the guys did what they needed to do to keep us, alive, keep us in the game. And there was a path to win the game. You've got to give our guys credit for fighting it out the whole time.
Don't miss the Mike McDonald Show the morning after the Hawks game at 9:30 on Seattle Sports.
Hey, Brock Huard here, and the calendar has turned to October, and it is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and the need for research and treatment goes on, and that is why we have teamed up with the Harnish Auto family and the KIRO Milgard Breast Cancer Center to make a difference. And there's a couple of ways that you can help. One, Just go test drive any new or used vehicle at any of the 6 amazing Harnish dealerships. And guess what? Harnish is going to donate $25 on your behalf with absolutely no purchase necessary. Just go take that test drive. Another way is to go get an oil change or any other service done, and Harnish will once again donate on your behalf. Plus, you'll love the friendly team and how easy we make buying a vehicle. So don't wait a day longer. Go visit Ward up at Chevy of Everett, Eric at Kia of Everett, Sace at Chevy, Buick GMC, and Volkswagen of Puyallup, or Ryan at Subaru of Puyallup as well, and mention I sent you. Let's make a big impact this month and help out the Carol Milgard Breast Cancer Center by the end of October. Visit Harnish Auto Family. It's a Harnish Auto Family. Say it with me, where people matter.
Hey, pet parents. With Progressive's collision coverage, you get extra protection for your cat or dog, because there's nothing worse than seeing your pet hurt. Like when you see their face after accidentally stepping on their tail, and you say, "I'm so sorry, Mr. Pickles." But as you kiss his nose and rub his little belly welly, you know Mr. Pickles is thinking, "You betrayed me." Anywho, Progressive pays up to $1,000 in vet bills if your pet is injured in an auto accident. Learn more at Progressive.com and watch where you step. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Collision coverage subject to policy terms. Not available in all states.
Whether you own a local business or a global one, you know that these days, generating growth is a challenge. By teaming with Bank of America, you'll not just stay ahead of the curve, you'll move it. With access to experts, award-winning insights, and business solutions so powerful, you'll make every move matter, locally and globally. Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. What would you like the power to do? Copyright 2024 Bank of America N.A.
Paid political announcement. A Bob for Bob update. Did you know AG Bob Ferguson is responsible for Washington being the only state with a social media advertising ban on political speech? In 2019, Bob's lawsuits made Washington the only state that doesn't allow you to run political ads on social media. Voter beware, because Bob's vendetta against your free speech won't stop when Bob gets what he wants. Governor. Paid for by the Bob for Bob Committee, 12883 Puyallup, Washington, 98371. Top 4 donors: Steve Gordon, Fremont Dock Company, Brian Haywood, and Susie Burke.
911, what is your emergency?
There's a fire in my building. Please send help right away.
What is the address of the fire?
My address. Hold on. Oh, wait. The fire sprinkler just went off, and it's putting out the fire.
Good to hear. The fire department will still be dispatched as a precaution.
Fires are fast, but fire sprinklers are faster. Fire sprinklers get water on a fire immediately to protect you and your property. Install fire sprinklers in your home or business today. Brought to you by Puget Sound Area Fire Protection Contractors.
Guys, this month only, Revive Men's Health Seattle offers qualified patients a free supply of ED medication to kickstart their treatment and enhance intimacy. Book your free T-check, exam, and consultation today. Call 206-529-1111 or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Stream every Seattle sports show with the Seattle Sports app. Brought to you by Fred Hutchinson Cancer Center. Get new videos, podcasts, and articles on the Seahawks and Mariners from your favorite Seattle sports personalities daily. Hawks Live.
Tonight from 7 to 9.
Live from Bellevue Square Center Court.
Gino Smith has himself a day.
Presented by the Dining District of the Bellevue Collection.
On Seattle Sports.
This is the day of the big sale at your gift shop.
Welcome in.
So this isn't just a big day for your business. It's a big day for the network keeping it all connected. That is, if it can handle the pressure.
Next in line, please.
So is it possible to get business internet you can really count on? It is. With 99.9% network reliability from Comcast Business. It's like this neat little bow.
Do you like that gift wrap?
Really ties it all together. Reliable internet for your business. It's not just possible. It's happening. Comcast Business. Powering possibilities.
Switch to Comcast Business and get started with reliable internet and advanced security for $49.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement. Plus, ask how to get up to a $500 prepaid card with a qualifying internet package. Don't wait. Call or go online to switch today. Offer ends 10/13/24. Restrictions apply. New customers only with 150 megabit per second internet. Eco bill and auto pay required. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. After 12 months, regular rates apply.
Free consultations, no fee guarantees, 5-star reviews. JP Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains the importance of going beyond these familiar offerings.
Accident victims want an attorney, Tom, that satisfies their needs. Someone who handles those needs with the highest degree of care. Pendergast Law offers the no-fee guarantees and free consultations, but these only scratch the surface.
Okay, explain more.
We make sure that every member of our team is genuinely passionate about helping others. Customer service and communication are our top priority. It's how we take care of our clients so they always feel one step ahead of the insurance companies. Our strong reputation for high standards provides comfort and confidence when it's needed most.
Pendergast Law offers the free consultations, the no-fee guarantees, and, of course, they are 5-star rated. But what really makes them different is their genuine passion for helping others. I can't recommend them enough.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
That's PendergastLaw.com.
Need to know. Brought to you by Ben's Plumbing, Heating, and Air.
15 minutes past every hour with Brock and Salk.
Here's what you need to know. Up first.
It's a short week for the Seahawks, and then an even shorter week next week. They haven't even had a true practice yet, just had a walkthrough yesterday. Brock, are you a good news or a bad news guy first? So which do you prefer? You know, you have the, hey, do you want your good news or bad news first?
Yeah, give me the bad news.
Okay, I figured you would say that. I knew you'd be a bad news kind of guy first. So there was some concerning news. Mike McDonald gave some injury updates yesterday, and he said he doesn't anticipate starting the pup windows for Abe Lucas and Jarek Reed.
Those guys, I believe, won't start practicing this week. Yeah, in case there's a hailstorm or something and we need to not practice. I don't know. Trying to always leave it out, you know? So you guys don't get me in the corner.
So no Abe Lucas yet. So he did also mention that Cam Young, they're activating his 21-day practice window. So he's coming off eventually the pup list, but Abe Lucas not ready just yet.
No, that has been a concern. I know that he said, Mike McDonald, with us the other day, that hamstrings are always concerning because you can see all these measurables and it looks like you're good, but then, gosh, they're so finicky. Well, I think, unfortunately for Abe, this patella tendon injury has been the same way. You watch him in the weight room and you see him move, and we watched him in training camp running around thinking, golly, he's got to be getting close, but just not close enough. So that's the bad news?
Well, there's some more. So speaking of hamstrings, Byron Murphy didn't participate in the walkthrough. No true practice report, but the non-participants, Byron Murphy, Tyrell Dodson, and Boye Mafe. The first true practice report is out today when they have their first true practice later this afternoon. But the good news, that involves Uchenna Nwosu.
Yeah, he'll be out there. And again, with all those guys, it's a process of, can we get them to the line? Are they feel comfortable? Is the best for them to go? I know all of them are chomping at the bit to get out there, but we're going to do what's best for them and what's best for us. So today's a walk, so it's hard to gain some a bunch of insight on where they're going to be after today. Tomorrow we'll probably have a better idea.
Yeah, tomorrow's today now, so yeah.
Correct. And remember, with Uchenna last week, he did practice. He was in some limited capacity out on the field. I thought the expectation was he would be kind of raring and able to go on Monday night. That was not the case. Frankly, I'd be surprised, Lefko. I'd be surprised if he's not up and ready to absolutely let it rip Sunday against the Giants.
Yeah, that's why they didn't put him on the IR. Ends up being 4 games missed anyway, so would be good to see him back out there to get the season started for him.
Here's the second thing you need to know.
Well, 3 of the 4 wildcard series ended last night, including in Houston, where I know we all have a vested interest here, especially with the guy we'll talk to at 9:30. The Tigers eliminated the Astros.
Crowd on its feet. The 2-2. Swinging a liner. Caught at first by Torkelson. That's the ball game. The Tigers take game 1, 3-1. It got dicey down the stretch, but these Tigers, one of the great surprises in baseball just to be here, take a giant step forward in game 1.
Well, that's game 1, but they did also eliminate them yesterday.
That was game 1.
That was game 1. That set the tone, Brock.
I heard that yesterday, Lefko.
Yeah.
What about the triple? What about the bases clearing
that
triple?
call was it wasn't worthy of playing again.
No, what is up with Michael K?
Yeah.
That was Yeah,
But Tigers eliminated the Astros. There you go. What do you think about that?
I'm a little torn on that.
You're torn that the Astros are eliminated?
No. I am torn because on one end, the Mariners, I'm thrilled for as a Mariner fan. Like, good, get rid of them. That's great. Bregman, be done. The dynasty starts to please collapse. On the other end of it, we knew that was a wounded animal. We all knew that over the last 10 years of watching these Astros when they were great in World Series champs and ran away with the American League West. We knew that this team was flawed. And it kind of brought up, unfortunately, I was just in baseball feel-good mood. I was enjoying all these games, and then that happened, and while I was thrilled, it brought up these, ugly feelings of, oh, that's right, we had a 10-game lead on those suckers. Oh, that's right, they were flawed. Oh, that's right, we were a much better pitching team, and but then we couldn't beat them, and we're sitting here watching it, and so some of those emotions also bubbled up yesterday.
Yeah, kind of like the Royals. They used their pitching. They swept the Orioles, so they knocked out the Orioles in 2. Padres-Dodgers, because the Padres swept the Braves, and the only Game 3 today, Brewers-Mets, that takes place at 4 o'clock.
Here's the third thing you need to know.
Brock, I know you're a guy that likes to instigate. He likes to stir some things up at times.
I used to.
Enjoy some
Mike,
good old gossip and
Mike,
some
I'm getting old
high
for
school
that
level
stuff.
drama in the NFL. And we have this situation in Vegas where there's some back and forth. Antonio Pierce liked an Instagram post about Davante Adams being traded. That led to Kay Adams asking Davante Adams about it.
Yeah, I haven't heard from him. I haven't talked to him. So I haven't. I don't know. I don't really know exactly what that was about. Obviously, I got, social media is a beast. So it's a lot of people out there that saw it and wondering what's going on, and people reaching out. And I haven't spoke to him.
What I'm hearing is that a lot of people think you may never play another down as a Raider. What would you say to that?
All I can control is this talk we're having right here, and then after we're done with this, all I can control is the next thing that I'm on to. So I'm gonna get up in a minute and go get a nice workout in, and that's all I can control.
What did she say? What was that about?
Oh God, I think she realized the extent of the drama.
Sheesh.
I don't know.
Is this what we do on the afternoon show? Because I thought that was 2 days old too. Do we kind of, just because the guys sleep in till 2 in the afternoon, that everything's
No.
like a day?
It's building.
Oh, it's
to
building.
the conversation that we're going to get to a little bit later.
It's building.
Yeah. But, Raiders drama. He wants to be traded. He's not going to play again, I think.
Yeah. No, it does. I think it presents what we've chatted about with this whole receiver market, right? And you see in the drama down in Miami, when these guys that are dependent on everybody around them and they're not getting theirs, they start to get a little frustrated. No, by the way, they're kind of been empowered because they're making, I don't know, 30, 35 million bucks, whatever it is that those guys are making. And oh, by the way, Davante, he's in his mid-30s too. I think he's like 32, 33. So no thank you on that for Seattle, but someone, probably New York, and Aaron Rodgers will probably end up with it.
Well, that leads to another conversation about DK Metcalf. Not today, perhaps, but down the line,
today,
because
Mike, not
there's some
today.
good contract things to talk about. And I hear you're coming around to my side on DK Metcalf, but we can get into that some other times. That's everything you need to know. Some news from the Giants side, actually. So ESPN's Jordan Raanan reports that Malik Neighbors is a long shot to play on Sunday because of that concussion. So, and that's been 10 days, too. He suffered that last Thursday against the Cowboys. So he sounds like he is still out. It could be big for the Seahawks defense, and we'll talk about that. We'll talk about a lot more. So there are a lot of things happening in the NFL, and if you didn't like the Davante Adams drama, Brock, we have some more. We have some potential chaos and a team already about to implode, I think. So we will get to everything happening around the NFL and then continue on with our Seahawks conversations. Jeff Passon joins us at 8:30. Benetti joins us at 9:30. Here's the thing at 8. Mora's fantasy football forecast at 9:45. Got to get ready for that Thursday night.
By the way, a shocker at 8. I mean, a shocker at 8.
There's a tease for you.
I mean, if Mora thinks I've been difficult on our contestants like Babbling Bob and Lousy Larry and Failure Rocco, and if she thinks I've been hard on those contestants, wait till, here's the thing, I am going to hold somebody's feet to the fire like they've never been held before. That's at 8.
All right. That's at 8. Okay. Listen to the Brock and Salk Show on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
Seattle Sports, your home for Bump and Stacy.
Gino Smith in the offense put up 516 net yards. They also scored a season-high 29 points. How special did he look out there?
Gino was on point, man. He threw the ball 56 times. That's a career high. Had 38 completions. That's a career high. People were saying Sam Howell should be the guy. I bet y'all have calmed down with that now. I was really impressed by Gino. His leadership, his composure, getting to the line of scrimmage. He checked out of some plays. At no point did I think Gino was overwhelmed.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Guys, I'll never forget the first time I saw somebody get results at our clinic. He was an 81-year-old man who hadn't been intimate with his wife in over 8 years. Viagra had stopped working for him, and he was desperate for help. After several treatments, he walked into my office and told me he couldn't believe the results. Needless to say, this was a very happy man. This man made me a believer in what we do. He had taken pills for years, but he had never fixed the problem. When he came to us, we fixed the problem. Our treatment does what no pill can do. So give West Coast Men's Health a call today. Speak with our clinic manager. Ask him any question you like, how it works, the science behind it, and even the cost. Change your life today like the thousands of men who already have.
With clinics in Redmond and Tacoma, call 206-519-6541. That's 206-519-6541. 206-519-6541. Online at westcoastmenshealth.com.
Research shows well-maintained trees significantly increase home values. So there is such a thing as a money tree? Find your next money tree at Big Trees, Washington's premier tree sales and transplant company. So while money doesn't grow on trees, reap the benefits of a yard landscaped with trees and increase your property value at the same time with Big Trees. For hours, directions, and to find your money tree, visit BigTreeSupply.com.
Beauty, privacy, instantly. Big Trees.
For tank and tankless hot water heaters, for clogged drains, for leaky faucets, for toilets that won't flush. Stop freaking and call Beacon. Beacon Plumbing, Heating, and Mechanical is your trusted source to solve all your plumbing needs. 1-800-FREAKIN or beaconplumbing.net.
Hey, Brock Heward here, and I have had my share of sports injuries, and I know a little bit about pain. Well, that's what football will do to you from head to toe. But you don't have to play professional sports to know what I'm talking about. Painful joints from arthritis can affect anyone and make it hard to do pretty much anything. Well, that's where my friend, Dr. Daniel Nelson from Eastside Pain and Regenerative Medicine comes into play. He has seen so many patients through the years suffering from chronic joint pain caused by arthritis. So don't let pain stop you from your quality of life. Don't let pain stop you from enjoying life. Consider Dr. Nelson the only doctor with over 30 years of experience in pain medicine techniques, including stem cell therapy. It's a non-surgical solution to pain using your own stem cells. That's right, your own stem cells and platelet-rich plasma to harness your own body's healing potential. Consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Daniel Nelson, MD at 425-823-4000 or visit DanielNelsonMD.com. That's DanielNelsonMD.com.
I started Davis Law Group 30 years ago with the goal of bringing the highest quality of legal representation to accident victims. Contact Washington's best personal injury team today at 206-727-4000 or visit us at DavisLawGroupSeattle.com.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
Headed outdoors or on the water this weekend? Check in with Joey and Nellie on the Outdoor Line from 6 to 8 a.m. every Saturday on SeattleSports.com.
You're busy. We get it. Life moves fast, like watching your favorite team in the final minutes of the game. It feels like there's no time to catch your breath. But for the next 10 seconds, this is your time to center yourself like the pros. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Inhale, exhale. You feel that? A little more relaxed, like the calm before a big play? Now that your mind's a bit clearer, let's talk about something that can feel like a mental game right now. Voting. This election has been intense, kind of like watching your favorite team's season of ups and downs. Sometimes it feels easier just to tune it out. But being a part of the action is what counts. We can't have anyone sitting on the sidelines. Voting is the ultimate act of self-care. It's not just about you, it's about everyone in the stands and on the field. We need everyone in the game, so follow the voting playbook. 1, check your registration. 2, check in with yourself. 3, check your voting plan. Head to rockthevote.org today and show up for your future self and for the team.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. So at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited talk, text, and data for $30 a line when you buy 2. That's just $60 a month for 2 unlimited lines. So if you're 50 and up, make the switch and save. Come on, you've earned this. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today. Requires 2 lines of service, age validation, and credit approval, subject to system and area limits, taxes, and other fees apply.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-838-6161. That's 800-838-6161. 800-838-6161.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Brock and Salk.
Weekdays 6 to 10.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Just a few days away from Seahawks Giants. Strange week. Brock, it really is a strange week for the Seahawks because of that late Monday night game. They got back early in the morning Tuesday. Long flight, no practice, a full day off on Tuesday. Just the walkthrough to kind of keep everyone fresh. So no practice until today.
Yes.
Just a couple days out before a game.
Yes, yeah, it is. I remember some of those trips, and back then is not like today in so many different ways, right? And we'll spin around the NFL here. We're going to spin around Left Coast Love Life. I haven't even dug into that. I know everybody loves when I do that, especially his mom who's listening right now. Hi, Mrs. Left.
Everyone's clamoring for it, right? Obviously.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, everybody's in a need to know and want to know basis on that. But back in the day, like I remember those trips, and it was brutal and it was nasty. And you would get done, and you land back at 3 or 4 in the morning, and okay, next day you got to, especially for the coaches, those coaches got to just grind, and they got to go to work, and they've got to do all. I mean, it's quite honestly, Lefko, for the players, it really is not that big a deal. For those coaches, it is a hard week. And then, oh, by the way, going to be even harder after Sunday afternoon when you play on Thursday. So this stretch of 11 days, I don't know about you. Did you look at it in the preseason? Because I certainly didn't. I kind of looked at the first 3 and thought, man, this is pretty favorable, but did not look at this next stretch of 3 thinking, man, this is a pretty miserable run.
Well, Brock, one game at a time. No, I don't look past. No, I do. You certainly look at the schedule, and I don't know if the dates necessarily jump out in terms of how close things are together. You're right, because you see what's past that, and it's Niners, Bills, Rams. Yes. Okay, so that chunk of 3 and 4 kind of jumped out, and then realizing, oh, wait, so the Giants, they're there after a Monday night game, and then it's the 4-day turnaround to the Niners. It's a sneaky tough stretch. You're right. This might be one of the tougher stretches of the season just because of that condensed schedule for 3 games.
No question. But they look after those guys in pretty good ways. I think yesterday reflective of that. But how about we do something? I was trying to get a hold of my buddy Todd Blackledge, but he's busy. He's tied up. He's chatting with Carol and Belichick. Oh, no, not Pete and Bill. No, Brandon and Steve as he gets ready for that game.
Big Ten Saturday night.
A little Big Ten Saturday night. So you got a little spin around the NFL for me?
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think we do. Maura, we're going to go around the NFL here? All right.
Let's do it. Well, you already brought up the Davante Adams drama that's been going on, and we heard him on Kay Adams' show talking about it. But yesterday, his head coach, Antonio Pierce, was asked about what is going on with Davante Adams, especially after liking that Instagram post about a possible trade. And not surprisingly, he didn't want to talk about it very much.
Have you communicated with Davante, and where is the relationship with you?
And me and Davante talk often.
Have you talked to him since all of this?
I believe that between me and Davante.
Are you concerned at all about this being a distraction?
No, because we're focused on Denver.
Wow.
I think the theme here, we're going to get some combative head coaches in this segment of Around the NFL.
Do you like what Cowherd calls all that?
What? What does he call it?
Noise. Noisy. They're noisy. Mm-hmm. That's a noisy organization. That's just noise. And any noisy organization never works.
People now refer to it as messy, Brock. So noisy's a little out of touch.
Oh, is that the kids?
Yeah, it's messy now. So it is messy, though.
Oh, do you want to get back to this?
The Raiders are messy.
That's perf.
I know.
That is perf.
Yeah. No one has seemed more together than that right there.
That's a hundo.
Yeah.
Have you seen the Ritzler? Is that the Rizzler? Have you seen that kid?
Well, so I got beef with Lyle because they brought it up on my timeline yesterday.
Uh-huh.
They had a little Mariners clip on their podcast, and they were assessing the season, and then they boomed or doomed it, and that is now stuck in my head again. It's the dumbest family alive. It's the worst. It's the worst thing to ever grace the internet. And because Lyle and TJ incorporated it into a segment, I saw that before trying to go to sleep, and then I couldn't go to sleep.
It's worse than Hop to a Girl?
Yeah. Well, hold on. So, question. So
Brock, don't ever.
The big guy. So we're going around pop culture, I guess.
Yes.
The big guy, right?
Yes.
That's AJ.
It's okay. There we go. There's my first point of contention. There's this big old dude, and his name is AJ, not Big Justice. And I know too much already. This is terrifying.
Oh, my gosh.
Wouldn't you think? You just look at these two. There's one little kid, and there's a big dude who's terrifying looking.
Yes.
And certainly, logic would dictate that a big dude like that would be named Big Justice.
Right.
And the second he was not named Big Justice, I'm out.
You're
so
done.
I'm out on those two.
Doesn't make any
We're
sense.
done. It makes no sense. Why is that guy not named Big Justice? He's big.
That I don't know.
Right.
Right.
Doomed to that guy. Jeez. Okay.
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed the segment.
No, I didn't enjoy the segment. It's stuck in my head now.
As my headphones fall off.
Lyle just threw his headphones across the room.
To be fair, Lefko,
it
we
pulled
called
me
it
in.
the worst tweet or the worst piece of content ever made.
It was engaging.
Rizzler?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
All right, go watch it after this.
All
But,
right.
but we got to get back
Next.
to going
Okay,
around the
next.
NFL.
Yeah.
Barely started.
We barely started.
How about
around the
Maura
NFL.
telling me don't ever say that again? All right. I'll try Maura.
Well, Brock,
wish-
you can.
It's not your brand, Brock.
I wish it was the
understand.
first time I'd heard this
I
on this show,
understand.
too. This is not the
Totally.
first time I've heard this when
You know what,
filling in.
Brock? You can just go listen to her podcast if you're that interested.
No, not really. No, probably won't.
Yeah, her 15 minutes haven't quite ended yet.
No, they have not. Okay.
So, all right. Well, we have a little bit more wide receiver drama with the Jets struggling to get the ball to star wide receiver Garrett Wilson. He's currently 41st with 20 catches for 191 yards. He joined the Barton Hahn show yesterday and didn't hold back on his thoughts about the offensive play calling.
I don't think we do a lot of different stuff, to be honest. When I watch football on Sundays, I see a lot of teams mix it up and stuff like that. I don't feel like we do that. So I think we know our identity is just about going out and executing it, or figuring out whether or not it's going to work. I truly think that we are not trying. I don't think we're trying a lot of different things. I know personally I haven't. My route tree hasn't been what it's been on the last 2 years as far as the stuff I've been running and stuff.
Okay,
Maybe you should talk to Aaron Rodgers about his guy Hackett.
Always great to hear 4 weeks in.
Yeah, it's awesome. And in Chicago, they're having those rumblings already about Shane Waldron and this system looking pedestrian. And here's what's going to happen. All right, pull out your notepad. Here's what's going to happen.
No one takes notes anymore. It's all on a computer.
Okay, pull out your phone and go to your notes app and type this out. Here's what's going to happen. Cliff Kingsbury and our guy Grubb are going to continue to innovate and create and be the envy of many others. And there's going to be many, many college OCs that get an opportunity in the NFL next year.
Well, look at Cliff Kingsbury.
Yeah,
Look at
that's what I just said. I just said, well, you didn't listen to me. I just said, look at what Cliff and Grubb are doing. Don't pull a Stelton on me. Okay, I just said that. I said,
You're
look
right.
at what
I was trying to take notes. That's what happens. I was trying to take
pull your
notes
phone
and listen.
You did tell him to open his notes app. And
I was trying to do two things at once, and I just heard Grubb. I didn't hear Kingsbury.
That's really rude of me. I apologize. Lincoln Riley would certainly be a guy. I know Ryan Day at times and Chip Kelly last year interviewed for some. Just watch the success of Grubb and Kingsbury. And if it continues this year, this NFL, this is the way it works. It is a copycat league. And if it works there, boy, we need to innovate and create and do more of these things to get these diva receivers the ball more and more. Next, push. Sorry.
All right, well, the Jets also struggled with some issues with jumping off sides on Sunday against the Broncos. Head coach Robert Saleh mentioned the potential need for Rodgers to change his cadence, and he did not like that suggestion when a reporter brought it up postgame.
The cadence specifically, Robert said that might be something you guys have to dial back a little bit. Is that something you think could potentially help the situation?
It's one way to do it. The other way is hold them accountable. I mean, we haven't had an issue. We've had one false start. Morgan had one false start, I believe, until this. So, it's been a weapon. We use it every day in practice. We rarely have a false start. And to have, 5 today, it seemed like, 4 or 5. Yeah, it seems like an outlier. I don't know if we need to make mass changes based on, kind of an outlier game.
How's this go with Saleh and Aaron Rodgers?
This is a disaster, right?
How does it go? What do the next 13 weeks look like?
Well, Mark Schlereth called him Coach Rodgers when he was on with us on Tuesday. So it seems clear who's in charge here, which is not a good situation to be in.
Nope, not a real healthy dynamic. when that whole leadership curve is upended, if Bell, whatever, is totally upended like that, usually does not work out very well. But, man, the NFL just creates, right? Just creates these dramas. Like, you don't even have to search for them. You don't even have to dig that hard. It just finds a way through the game. And, Antonio Pierce's fat fingers liking a tweet. Aaron Rodgers, just constant drama.
Do you guys want some more?
I'm here for it. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I knew it. See, this is perfect for you. You do like to instigate, stir it up a little bit. And this is the perfect gossip NFL drama.
Yes.
So over in Jacksonville, they are still the only team remaining searching for their first win. Things have not been going well. And Sunday, Doug Peterson made some comments in sticking up for his offensive coordinator, Press Taylor's play calling that made it seem like he was kind of throwing the players under the bus.
We, as coaches, we can't go out there and make the plays, right? It's a two-way street. So, you guys can sit here and point the finger all you want, and that's fine. Point it right at me. I can take it, okay? I can take it. So, whatever you want to ask me, say, whatever, write, go ahead.
You could tell us at your introductory news conference a couple of years ago, if it's not working, if it's not in rhythm, whether it's your plays or not, that you hand off the play calling. Is it just one of those, maybe it's just a voice, a confidence? You guys were cooking when you were doing it, to look like in 22.
Yeah, sure. Okay, I'll take it into consideration.
And then this was yesterday when he was asked if perhaps he's lost the locker room.
Yeah, I would know. I talk to these guys every day. I see them every day. And no, I have not lost the locker room. I think these guys have done everything I've asked. They continue to play and practice hard and battle, and it's a good group. It's a good group. The right leaders in there, and they know what we need to do, and they're not making excuses for it, and I'm not going to make excuses, and we just got to go do it.
Okay, you would know if you lost the locker room, but would you tell us?
Well, and also, by nature, wouldn't you not know if you lost the locker room? If you thought that you were saying something, that your message was being received, and it wasn't getting through, I think that's more of the, hey, you wouldn't know if you lost the locker room. So to be that definitive, when you're 0-4, that's pretty indicative of what's going on down there.
Saltke rightfully or wrongfully says, in baseball, if a skipper has lost a clubhouse because you'll see mental errors. Guys throwing on the base pass, just dumb decisions. Like in baseball, it kind of manifests itself that way. Lose a locker room in football, I think it is how physical your team plays. And I haven't watched it. Have you seen any of the Jags?
Passing. No,
in
not
just
really.
in passing.
Just the brief red zone clips of Trevor Lawrence interceptions and all that. So
but
it's been fun to see.
Our guys laying it on the line. That's when you know.
So what players know, though, right, Brock? But do coaches know how players are feeling? Have you?
I think coaches can watch that tape.
Yeah.
I mean, I had one experience in all of my years, I would say, on any football team I ever played on, where a coach said, "I am going to put the grade sheets outside the team room, and I'm going to let your teammates see what everyone's grade." Like, that's not good. This locker room is lost, and that one was lost, and it was kind of in a turnover situation of vets and young guys, and yeah, if you've got to threaten to show grade sheets because guys aren't playing hard and laid on the line, that's a pretty good indicator.
Well, what happened with Doug Peterson too? He seemed like this amazing coach that he had the pulse of the players. He was the guiding hand that led the Eagles.
It was also
well.
in
with
comparison
Lawrence.
to the Urban Meyer debacle.
Right, and he did do well for a little bit to start out there with Trevor Lawrence, and now it is just completely upended.
Yes, a mess. Super Bowl champ. What do you do, by the way, Lefko? Because I know you're a summer guy, you're a hiker, you're a biker.
I don't have to get to Blue 88. I think
you are
get to Blue 88.
Paddleboarder, so you love all those outdoor activities, especially socially and maybe with people of dates and such. What do you do once?
Is this around the NFL still? I mean, we got the music going. So,
this is it. Yeah, this is it.
He just needs to find a young lady that likes to watch college football and football.
I think so. There are some new places to go watch all these sporting events now. So I'm more of a sedentary person in the winter. So that's got to be accepted.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey,
kind of hibernate.
You know what? New shows to watch. Brock's got to get on this. Not that you would, but Molly can get you into this. New show on Netflix. Nobody Wants This.
It's good.
The best show around right now.
Nobody Wants This.
Yeah. Kristen Bell. Adam
is that
Brody.
what G. Scott was?
G's watching it too.
No, G's watching it. Okay, everyone's watching it. You got to get on this. Nobody Wants This.
It's good.
Also, the title of people listening to this segment of you trying to get my love life going.
Okay, fine then. Get to
Nobody
Blue
wants
88.
this.
Fine,
No, all right.
fine.
Yeah. Blue 88.
This is Brock and Salt's 88.
Blue 88! Blue 88!
We take you to the field as Brock Ewart breaks down 3 football questions as only he can.
Now here's your hosts, Brock Heward and Mike Saul.
Brock, we've chalked up a lot of the defensive struggles, especially last game, to all the guys being out. They were down 5 starters to start, then they were down 6 when Julian Love got hurt. But what's one of the more concerning next-level defensive metrics for the Seahawks?
Well, I'm going to give a shout-out on Twitter to Seaside Joe, Daily Seahawks, something on Twitter, who put this tweet out yesterday that said the Seahawks have allowed 2 of the 15 best games by a running back so far this season by expected play EPA. Week 2, Antonio Gibson, plus 4.8. Week 2, Jahmyr Gibbs, plus 4.4. So the concern was, well, I mean, you're down 5 starters. I just throw this game out. I don't even look at it. Okay, that's fine. That's one way to look at it. And it's certainly, I'm not going to in any way minimize the impact of not having your horses on Monday night. But that New England game and the broken tackles and the yards after contact and getting to the second level and too often, unfortunately, to the third level in that game at times, well, it led to one of the more productive, 2 of the top 15 running back days in the NFL. That's a real number. Like, you know, Mike McDonald saying to us that Monday after the New England game, like, that's unsustainable. He knows that. And you had to, the only way you're going to beat the Detroit Lions and teams of that ilk, San Francisco on a Thursday night when they're healthy, the only way you beat them, Mike, is to make them one-dimensional. It's the only shot you got. You have to take one of their 2 facets away, and it's usually better if it's a run game, especially with Detroit, because then the play action is not as devastating. Could not take the run away there, could not take the run away against New England, and yeah, I think absolutely that is a concern moving forward. It's got to be one of the top priorities starting Sunday against the Giants, who are not one of the better run teams in the NFL.
All right, number 2. Okay, Brock, I have a question off a question for this one.
Okay.
So the actual question: has Mike McDonald yet again shown his affinity for data? And then before that, are you a data or data guy? Because there is a divisive argument that, these are people that will just berate you if you say it the way that they don't think is correct.
Yeah,
so
this is
are you data or data?
Yep. This is Ed Placey from ESPN scaring the life out of me. Like year 2, year 1. And he came out to one of my games. He was one of the big managers, executives. And in the open of the show, it was Louisville, Kentucky or something. And I had said, oh, they were staggered. And so after the game, we get together and we're at the restaurant. He's like, hey,
Minnesota?
Hey, can you say that word you said in the open? I was like, well, knocked him back. But what was it? And I was like, staggered? He's like, yeah, you can't say that. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, yeah, it's not. I mean, we'll work with a voice coach. We will get you, but whatever you said there, it's staggered. So it's not data, it's data.
It is data, the British way, which is kind of the accepted, appropriate
It's not data,
pronunciation.
it's data. Yeah. It's not a bag, it's a bag.
The data
it's not
is
the
American
Aggies, it's the
way
Aggies.
to say it. Okay. I think of David Fizdale. Have you seen the Memphis Grizzlies coach? He's got the famous press conference. It's like almost 7 years ago. I think 2017. The Spurs had beaten the Grizzlies, and he was furious by the calls. A very call imbalance went the Spurs' way. So he's reading off all these numbers, slams his fist at the end, and he says, take that for data, and storms out. And he said data, not data. But the actual question, Brock.
I think I'd probably go, honestly, both ways. I think I'd say it both ways if I'm going to be truly, genuinely honest.
Okay.
And when it comes to Mike McDonald, I think what he's very much enjoyed is the science and technology team with the Seahawks, led by Sam Ramsden and many others, that dive into nutrition, that dive into sleep studies, that dive into rehab, that dive into recovery in ways, Mike, that a lot of other organizations don't. And Mike McDonald's a smart guy, numbers guy, and you can tell he does. He very much enjoys the decision-making around data and data. And this was a case, like, man, the players yesterday, just a walkthrough, yeah, because our measurements, our studies, our sleep data, all of those things tell us to go on the field today, we could lose somebody. We could see a hamstring pull, a thigh pull. These guys are not in a position to fully exert and get better today. And so, yeah, I thought just a walkthrough yesterday, once again, representative of Mike looking at the numbers, enjoying looking at the numbers. And he even said it. Hey, man, I'll lose a battle to win the war. I'm not going to just, old school is you just pull these guys. I don't care if you're tired. Oh, I don't care if you didn't get your sleep. Suck it up, Buttercup, and get out here and practice. The new age says, hold on a second. These guys are not in a position, and it's not going to be healthy physically, mentally, in any way. Let's get the most out of them on Thursday and into Friday so they can be getting to the starting gates poised and ready to go Sunday afternoon.
I'm sorry for putting your brain in a blender now and second-guessing every data decision from now on. So
I think I do both.
Hey, believe in yourself. Whatever feels right, go with it. And what feels right now is number 3.
Okay.
Brock, what's been one of the bigger adjustments for those around the Huskies in the post-Kalen DeBoer era?
Yeah, Kalen and Jed, very similar. Pretty open books. Nothing really has changed there. Jed Fish is going to tell you, what's going on. Like, he's a businessman that kind of opens his books, much like Kalen DeBoer. And this is, hey, man, come out to practice. Hey, come be a part of this thing. Hey, here's what's going on. One of the bigger differences, though, is Ryan Grubb and Chuck Morrell last year, very equally open book. When you think back to many of those press conferences with Grubb, right, taking total transparency, owning everything, right? Honestly, I think it helped from an exposure standpoint, certainly even a John Schneider in this market. Like, man, this Grubb guy, he's got an edge to him. Like, you got to know him. You got to know, better or worse, William Inge and Chuck Morrell, right? But there was just there was an availability, there was a transparency, and an exposure to those guys, and you're not getting it now. So, and part of it is Brendan Carroll's not a play caller. Brendan Carroll's an offensive line coach. And what are most O-line coaches like? Leave me alone. Let me just get my guys ready to go. And, I'm not calling the play. I don't have that much here for you. And then Steve Belichick is just doing the best Bill Belichick he can possibly do and give you absolutely nothing, and you're going to like it.
I know we're not, I don't think we're going to get Todd Blackledge on. He's got some meetings with those coaches. So quick thought on this game, because you had a little podcast breakdown of it yesterday. You got a Michigan perspective. But yes, it's a national title game rematch in name. These are two very different teams. So what jumps out to you about this matchup?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that jumped out from my buddy John Jansen, who does the color for the radio, was he's scared. He is very nervous about Michigan because they can't throw the ball. Yeah. So it's not like you have to take one or the other away. You know what you have to take away. The other thing is this is their first road trip. All new, lots of new linemen, new quarterback, new communication, and we know what Lumen Field is. We know what Husky Stadium can be when it is rocking. So Husky fans, Saturday night, you're going to play a big role in this. A big role to a national audience because you have an opportunity to, I think, disrupt them and create false starts and create delays of game, and they just haven't been on the road, and they're very, very inexperienced. I think that will be a pretty big key on prime time with Mr. Eagle and Mr. Blackledge.
That is Blue 88, 3 football questions, and then maybe a few more there thrown in for Brock. But I believe you threw a challenge down, right? When we started this hour for what's coming up next. And what was that you wanted to
somebody's just going to be held.
Okay.
Somebody's going to be held accountable. That's what happens. Like, this is we're a competitive environment in the morning. That's what we do.
Yeah.
And somebody that maybe has been a star of Here's the Thing didn't show up. Didn't show up this week. The guy that has really kind of put his stamp on it, and you've heard him every single week. He didn't deliver, and he's going to hear about it next.
Okay.
It's called Here's the Thing.
There it is. Brock and Salk Show. You'll get that next on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
Seattle Sports, your home for Wyman and Bob.
For me, Dave, coming out of that game, looking at how shorthanded the Seahawks were, and so was it just a matter of a better team beating the Seahawks, or was it attrition on the defensive side of things?
Well, it's both. Look, you can't discount what they had as far as their injuries. I mean, by the way, do I owe Jared Goff an apology?
Yeah, I think you probably do, sir. I would hope Jared Goff checks in, as he is wont to do on the text line every now and again at 866-979-3776.
Streaming live on the Seattle Sports app.
2023, more than 1,000 citizens in King County died from fentanyl overdose in a single year. While other states enforce and arrest fentanyl dealers, Washington, under 12 years of Bob, has become a leader in fentanyl deaths and last in law enforcement officers per citizen. It's simple. Vote Bob if you want more crime and less safety. Paid for by the Bob for Bob Committee, 1283 Puyallup, Washington, 98371. Top 4 donors: Steve Gordon, Fremont Dock Company, Brian Haywood, and Susie Burke.
Uh-oh. Looks like your plumbing just threw a Hail Mary into the wrong end zone. But don't worry, folks. Flowhawks Plumbing and Septic is here here to intercept the mess. From busted pipes to clogged drains, we've got the plays that'll turn your plumbing fumble into a winning touchdown. Why risk a penalty? Call Flowhawks, the hometown heroes who will blitz that plumbing problem before it costs you the game. Because when your pipes are on the line, we bring our A game. Talk to the Hawk, 1-800-FLOWHAWK. That's 1-800-FLOHAWK.
As fall and winter weather sets in, your lawn becomes a muddy mess, and your kids and pets bring the mud inside. But with Synthetic Turf Northwest, you can have a lush, green yard year-round. No mud, no mess. Their premium synthetic turf systems drain fast and stay clean, no matter how hard it rains. Right now, during the Fall Blitz, you can save up to $1,500 on a new synthetic lawn. So say goodbye to muddy paws and say hello to your dream lawn. Call Synthetic Turf Northwest today or visit syntheticturfnorthwest.com to get started.
Ready to take your Seahawks game day to the next level? From pregame sideline passes to postgame field goal kicks, create unforgettable memories with friends and family this season at Lumen Field. Visit Seahawks.com/game day experiences to level up your game day.
You know, someone asked me the other day, do you know how many devices the average home has connected to their Wi-Fi network? It's way more than I thought. So I actually went home and counted how many connected devices in my home. It is more than a dozen, all to keep us connected to the good stuff, our streaming, gaming, all the interneting, you name it. Well, Xfinity knows that the number of devices we have connected to our internet is growing by the year. And that's why they engineered their gateways to handle hundreds of connected devices, hundreds for real. And now through October 10th, get 150 megabit Xfinity internet for just $19.99 a month for 12 months with a 1-year contract, and ask how to get an eligible free 5G phone with Xfinity Mobile. Make sure your home Wi-Fi can handle everything you throw at it and then some. Visit Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store to switch today. Xfinity, bring on the good stuff. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with store bank account. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra after promo. Regular rates apply. Xfinity Mobile requires Xfinity Internet. Actual speeds vary. 1-800-XFINITY.
Your favorite Seattle sports show is available anywhere you go through the Seattle Sports app. Brought to you by Fred Hutchinson Cancer Center Proton Therapy. Full shows and interviews, exclusive video and articles from the home of the Seahawks and Mariners.
When an 18-wheeler ran a red light and took the life of a Tacoma man in 2021, his family trusted Davis Law Group to fight for them. And we recovered a $3.5 million settlement and held the trucking company accountable for his death. Accident victims have trusted Davis Law Group to win their case for the past 30 years. And hundreds of 5-star reviews from real clients are proof that we've earned that trust. Call Davis Law Group today for a free consultation, or get my free book on trucking accident law at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
Have you tried the dining district at the Bellevue Collection? Grab lunch with friends, meet up for happy hour, and stay for dinner and beyond. You can sample international flavors and local favorites from talented chefs. Try a new cocktail on a rooftop bar or watch the game with friends and explore the lively nightlife scene. The Dining District at the Bellevue Collection, where your taste adventure begins. Learn more at BellevueCollection.com/dining district.
All right, guys, it's Mike Salk here, and the summer is definitely over. I know you've had your fun. So did I. Maybe you let it get away from you a little bit, but now you know it's time to get back on track. Stop feeling frustrated and overwhelmed and start being excited about the new you. It's all possible. You got a teammate in Eastside Weight Loss Clinic. No gimmicks, no tricks, no drugs, no injections, just teaching you how to turn your body into a fat-burning machine and then keep that weight off for the long term. Eastside Weight Loss Clinic knows the secret for fast and lasting weight loss using real healthy foods that you buy at the grocery store and lifestyle strategies designed to reset your metabolism. So schedule your free online consultation at eastsideweightlossclinic.com. The program has successfully helped thousands of people lose 20 to 30 pounds or more in just 60 days, including myself. You can do it in person or virtually from anywhere you live. Schedule your free phone consultation today. Call 425-588-0080 or go to eastsideweightlossclinic.com.
Dr. Ryan Coogan, D.C. Results may vary.
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports.
Give me a freaking auto!
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Brock and Salk on Seattle Sports.
Brock Ewert is my hero.
Jay Buhner just punched me in the kidney.
Brought to you by Simply Seattle.
We're going to accuse you of murder.
Doesn't really work that way, Sherm. This is a show that has my name on it.
It kind of does, though.
Now, here are your hosts, Brock Ewert and Mike Salk.
It is a Thursday at 8 a.m. It's not Mike Salk, Mike Lefko here with you, but Brock's here as well. And I think you guys have come to expect what we do at this time at 8 o'clock. It's Here's the Thing.
Brock Ewert doesn't just hate one kid.
I am so disappointed in Michael Salk.
You don't know what you're talking about. You're mindless. Love you, bye.
It's time for Brock and Salk's Here's the Thing.
Okay, here's the thing.
Wait, that's a new one. It's been updated.
Yeah.
It's been updated, huh? Well, Brock, I think people were figuring out. I think they figured out who you're talking about.
Yep.
So if you want to,
Yep. Okay. So here's the deal.
Throw it out there. So here's the thing. That's what this segment's called.
Perfect timing by you, Lefko, bringing up data.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just you've got this sense about you, this wit, this charisma, this energy, and at times just brilliance. Like you knew, like, oh, I better ask Brock. Does he say data or data? Because the data and data that had come to me said very clearly, Brad didn't deliver.
Well, I told you he left a couple back-to-back ones about DK that I thought weren't really like up to par. So I wasn't going to put Brad in Here's the Thing this week.
Yep.
After you said you were going to,
lambast him, hold him accountable, put his feet to the fire, say, Brad, you're better than this.
Let me double check and make sure there weren't any that I missed. And he did have a response to Ethan, who called him out last week, said he doesn't really think he's as tall as he says.
Speaking
he's probably a short guy. And we shouldn't put him on anymore. So I'll let you decide if this is up to Brad's level or if you still want to blast him.
Crush him.
Whatever you said you were going to do.
Okay.
Here's the thing. Ethan beefing with the king for bequeathing the airwaves with comedy gold, maybe silver. And yeah, I'm 6'3", little guy. I know you're 5'7", but you tell people you're 5'9". Squirt. Anyway, love you guys. Bye. Ethan sucks.
You're an instigator. See, look at this.
You know what? That works. More of that. That plays. I mean, I'm sorry. I think that plays. Had you heard that earlier, as you were parsing through hundreds of these, you'd have included that, right?
I think so.
Listener on listener crime. That's
what we do.
It's highly entertaining. Yeah. Okay.
So Brad, by the skin of your teeth, you survived my wrath.
Now there are some better ones though. I will say because I listened to all these ahead of time. So.
Oh, you cheated.
Yeah. Is that?
Yeah.
I cheated?
Salk and I never listened to it.
Well, that's me.
Like Bob with the sounds you cut. Like Bob with the sounds you cut.
I have to go win and listen to all of them ahead of time. But no, I know there's some good ones coming up.
All right, this is Garrett. He noticed something about when Salk gets upset on the show.
So here's the thing. Has anyone else noticed that when Salk's pissed, he uses the word narrative a lot? Go on.
Have you noticed that, Brock? You've worked
Is
with him
that
the
the
longest.
narrative, Brock?
Ooh, that's pretty good. I think when it comes to the Mariners, yes. Seahawks, no. Husky, no. I think that's when he's.
Well, he probably gets the most pissed about Mariners.
Someone's going to keep track then.
Yes.
Someone start keeping track then. Every time he says narrative, make a note whether he's mad or not.
I'm gonna believe that guy. He
Okay.
sounded believable.
All right, this one is pretty random, but when we had Brady on last week, you know how Brady Henderson lives on a boat?
Yep.
Salk started asking him a lot of boat terminology, but Brady really wasn't that familiar. And they brought up the forecastle, which apparently, I had looked it up, that's not how it's pronounced. This gentleman decided to give us a little bit of a lesson. This is Mike.
Here's the thing. I texted you, but a forecastle is actually called a forecastle. And it is indeed the pointy end of a ship. Pointy end of a boat is called a bow. In both cases, they are astern. So, a little bit of boat knowledge. You never heard anybody. In case you're on one, somebody says, we're sinking. Go to the forecastle. You need to know where you're supposed to go. You know what I mean?
Yes.
All right. Done with the Mariners. Done. Unless they do something about ownership. Start spending money. Why bother? I'm tired of having my heart broke.
I love that you threw that one in there.
Same
too.
guy?
Yeah, that was one.
Oh,
that was one.
He
Here's
even
the
went
thing.
on
yeah.
and said go Seahawks and a couple other things, but I had to cut it. It was
So how did the
What's his
boat-
name?
Mike.
Mike. Okay.
How did the boat thing come up again? Just Brady doesn't know
Because of
about
Brady
boats.
living on one
and
end.
he
Yeah,
doesn't-
Salk assumed that he would know what the terms were for all of the different sides of the boat and everything, but he didn't.
The bow, the
Yeah.
stern, the forecastle. Sure.
The part,
board.
you go stand on. The other part you go stand on.
For this next one, I feel like we probably need to update Lefko. Brock, Brock somehow instigated a conversation when G was on a couple weeks ago about low T.
Yeah,
It's been a topic of conversation
Salt's got
on the
low
show.
T. I think it's
He
playing into
thinks-
his sore throat. I want him to get tested.
So we had
But
Jason.
I'm not saying testosterone because then my phone heard me and sends me. Yeah, anyhow.
We have
go
enough
ahead.
ads about that on
Go
the
ahead, Maura.
station.
Well, we had Jason message us last week about his T problem. He said it was a Trident malfunction. He gave us an update on that.
Oh, good.
Here's the thing. The Mariners missed the playoffs, and I'm still suffering from Trident dysfunction. I made an appointment with Dr. Arakaki, and he prescribed me the little teal pill. I went to the pharmacy to fill the prescription and was surprised to learn I was written a lifetime supply. I asked the pharmacist, don't I really only need this for the off season? They said, sir, it's the Mariners. You're going to need this for the rest of your life.
I love that. I listened last week. Trident dysfunction is a good way to put it.
What was his name again?
Jason.
Do you listen? Speaking of me not listening.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm trying to write them down so I
know.
remember.
See, this is why you don't take notes. You need
Yes,
to
you do.
actively listen.
Always take notes.
No, actively listen.
Okay, give me the name.
With your
and who's
eyes
next.
and ears.
I love it, Jason. Thank you.
Brent has a eulogy for the 2024 Mariners.
Here's the thing, our dearly beloved. Today we gather with heavy hearts to lay to rest the season of the 2024 Seattle Mariners. We will forever cherish our fond memories of the team, such as having a 10-game lead in the division, a historically great starting rotation, and a big dumper dumping more dumps to begin his career than any catcher has dumped before. Unfortunately, the Mariners were mollywopped by a historically bad offense, hog-swaddled by base-running blunders, and swampy-chomped by woke analytics. Despite firing Scott Service, sending the team to a retreat with Master Giggle Tickle, and keeping Sulk on the payroll as the team mouthpiece, the Mariners were unable to reach their modest goal of a 54% winning percentage. Rest in peace, you sweet boys of summer. You can't strike out any longer.
Brent, huh? Does that kind of sound like Brent Stecker, maybe, disguising his voice? Now I heard a Brent in there.
Brent participates most weeks. So. Oh, Brent came up with my fantasy football.
Oh, right. We'll get to that. 9:45. Yeah, that was good. That was entertaining. Good way to put it. I think it softens the blow, right? When you drum it up like
A little
that, and
comedy.
you dress it
Sure.
up. Yeah. Okay. Good obit there.
Mike is having a little fun here with Brock's name dropping that we think Mike McDonald was taking exception to the other day.
So here's the thing. You guys had insert guest name here on the show? Wow.
Did you hear that exchange, Lefko? Did you think right away, oh, he's trying to have
No,
more
wait.
fun?
What was the McDonald part? I think I was driving to my hike, my summer
Brock
activity
started the
that
question
day.
by saying,
Yeah.
we had, I think maybe it was DJ, or no, maybe I think it was Joel Klatt on the other day. And
Oh, he said
Mike
Joe
McDonald was
Klatt,
like,
huh?
oh,
Yes.
Joe Klatt, huh?
Who? Huh? What?
Yeah.
Here, let me pick that up for you.
Wow. All right.
All right. Oh,
You do kind of name drop though. It's a fair point.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll remember
Fair
that.
point.
Great.
This is from Ryan on Ken Walker and me having him on my fantasy teams.
So here's the thing. Maura, you have Ken Walker on 2 of your teams, your fantasy teams, but aren't you only in 1 league?
That giggle. Oh my gosh. I just think he's a good player. I don't know why everyone had to make this such a...
Do you think, Brock, I know you were talking about the cut of Mike McDonald saying he showed Ken Walker's film to the team.
Uh-huh.
Do you think when Mike McDonald was about to show the tape to the team, he said, hey, have you guys seen Ken Walker? And then showed them the highlights?
I mean, I knew what was coming before anyone else did. I was like, wait till you
true.
see some of these highlights this year.
No question.
And that's why you do the fantasy
No
forecast. Yeah.
Do you want to squeeze one more?
Yeah, we got one more, right?
This is Jared.
Here's the thing. Post-doctorate, non-proctor, hawk tracker, non-hawker proctor, and hobgoblins eating my narrow mind because of narrow inconsistencies. Proctor, hawker.
I think he's calling Salk an elitist.
Yeah, what was that one that Salk used the other day? I still can't. I've never heard. None of us had ever heard that in our lives.
Yeah, it was something
The
about the
hobgoblin one,
Yeah.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
Oh.
Yeah, that's pretty good, Jared. Gosh,
All
that's a
right.
strong batch again.
Yeah.
Strong batch.
Well done. Well done. Here's the thing.
I didn't even get to all of them. We have one more that went at Brad.
Here's the thing, Rock. You're really going to sign off Wednesday before Here's the Thing with Better Bring It, Brad? Well, Brad and his stupid tape.
I like how we have listeners on one.
Yeah, I would say, why have you just used this segment to pit listeners against listeners? I think that's all this is.
You just stir it
You
up.
stir it up. Okay.
Stir it up.
All
Stir
right.
it up.
Well, actually, okay, one more. I got one more. Here's the thing for you. Brock, get ready for this Thursday night. Thursday Night Football. Seahawks take on the San Francisco 49ers coming up on October 10th. Seattle Sports looking to give away 4 tickets to watch this rivalry in person. All you need to do is open the Seattle Sports app, click the Win tab to find out how. If you don't already have the app, simply text app to 866-979-3776. We'll send you a link to download. Enter daily to increase your chances to win. This contest runs through Monday, October 7th. Well, coming up, a lot of injury updates to get to for both the Seahawks and the Giants. That's up next. Brock and Salk Show on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
Seattle Sports, your home for Wyman and Bob.
He is Mark Schlereth.
That was a really good game. I think you walk away from that and say, hey, listen, we lost. Yeah, we'd like to clean some things up. Yeah, we can't give up some of the big plays and the things that hurt us in the red zone and all that stuff. But I think you do walk away from those games occasionally feeling pretty good about your football team. Because I think the Lions are, to me, you take something out of that and you say, man, we've got a chance to be really good here in Seattle. And so I think you have to at least feel a little bit of comfort in that.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Hey, Brock Hewitt here, and yeah, I've had a couple sports injuries through the years. I do know a little bit about pain, but you don't have to have had played professional sports to know what I'm talking about. Painful joints. Well, from the entire itis family, tendinitis, bursitis, certainly arthritis can affect anyone and everyone and make it hard to do pretty much anything. And that is where my friend Dr. Daniel Nelson from Eastside Pain and Regenerative Medicine over there in Kirkland comes into play. He has seen a lot of patients suffering from chronic joint pain caused by arthritis. So don't let pain stop you from enjoying your life, your quality of life. Consider Dr. Nelson, the only doctor with over 30 years of experience in pain medicine techniques. You can give him a buzz this morning at 425-823-4000. That's 425-823-4000. Or visit DanielNelsonMD.com. That's DanielNelsonMD.com.
911, what is your emergency?
There's a fire in my building. Please send help right away.
What is the address of the fire?
My address. Hold on. Oh, wait. The fire sprinkler just went off, and it's putting out the fire.
Good to hear. The fire department will still be dispatched as a precaution.
Fires are fast, but fire sprinklers are faster. Fire sprinklers get water on a fire immediately to protect you and your property. Install fire sprinklers in your home or business today. Brought to you by Puget Sound Area Fire Protection Contractors.
We just want to have enough money for retirement.
And travel to visit our grandchildren.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we start by getting to know each other, so I can learn about your family, lifestyle, goals, and needs, allowing us to tailor your portfolio.
What about commission-based products?
We don't sell those. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in your best interest.
So how do your management fees work?
We have a simple management fee based on the value of your portfolio, so we do better when you do better.
We appreciate that kind of transparency.
We also check in with you regularly to keep you up to date on the markets and your portfolio.
What other services do you offer?
As a client, you have access to resources on investing, financial planning, estate planning, Social Security, Medicare, and more.
Wow, it sounds like Fisher Investments has everything we need.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With Venture X, earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy and turn everyday purchases into extraordinary trips. Plus, receive premium travel benefits like access to over 1,300 airport lounges where you just check in and chill out. Open up a world of possibilities with Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body? Huh? That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture. with daily use.
Heading outdoors or on the water this weekend? Check in with Joey and Nelly on the Outdoor Line from 6 to 8 a.m. every Saturday on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
Lab-grown diamonds might be new to retail, but not to Cantor Diamond. Hi, Diamond Dave Cantor of Cantor Diamond. And even though I'm a fourth-generation natural diamond importer, I was the first to import these gorgeous, eco-friendly, low-carbon footprint, conflict-free, real and genuine diamonds to the West Coast. And unlike everyone who's recently gotten on the lab-grown bandwagon, we work with the largest growers in the world to bring you the best possible diamonds at the lowest possible price. We know what to import and what to reject. And because we're importing direct, working in our low overhead wholesale offices and making our own rings, bracelets, and earrings in our own facility, we can offer better pricing than anyone. So work with the leader, not the followers, and let us find you the perfect cultivated diamond for less, a lot less.
Call Cantor Diamond at 253-272-7007. That's 253-272-7007. Or follow them on Instagram at KANTOR Diamond.
This is the day of the big sale at your gift shop.
Welcome in.
So this isn't just a big day for your business. It's a big day for the network keeping it all connected. That is, if it can handle the pressure.
Next in line, please.
So is it possible to get business internet you can really count on? It is. With 99.9% network reliability from Comcast Business. It's like this neat little bow.
Do you like that gift wrap?
Really ties it all together. Reliable internet for your business. It's not just possible, it's happening. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Switch to Comcast Business and get started with reliable internet and advanced security for $49.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement. Plus, ask how to get up to a $500 prepaid card with a qualifying internet package. Don't wait. Call or go online to switch today. Offer ends 10/13/24. Restrictions apply. New customers only with 150 megabit per second internet. Eco bill and auto pay required. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. After 12 months, regular rates apply.
Need to know. Brought to you by Ben's Plumbing, Heating, and Air.
15 minutes past every hour with Brock and Salk.
Here's what you need to know. Up first.
First true practice of the week for the Seahawks is this afternoon. Brock, I don't know if you picked up on this, but, you and Salk talk to Mike McDonald every week after games, and he is not the most forthcoming with injuries, certainly understandably so. But these past 2 weeks, he's had to have 2 press conferences before a practice or any new updates. And I've kind of gotten the sense that he doesn't really like giving information before he has to. I mean, last week he literally said, we're not going to tell you anything until we're forced to. So this week, he was asked some injury updates about some guys, including Abe Lucas and Jarek Reed, and here's what he said about their potential PUP windows.
Those guys, I believe, won't start practicing this week. Yeah, in case there's a hailstorm or something and we need to not practice, I don't know. Trying to always leave it out, so guys don't get me in the corner.
So nothing happening yet with Abe Lucas or Jarek Reed.
He is sounding more and more like Schneider. And you can imagine how much time they spend together. It'd be fascinating just listening to those two go back and forth and the different fun that they have. And that's a bummer for Abe. And this team will be better if and when Abe Lucas ever plays for them again. I mean, there's just no question about it. You signed Jason Peters, veteran guy, been around. I think a great guy in that room and yet another kind of security blanket in case there is yet again another injury to that offensive line. But I'm bummed for the local kid, man. Abe Lucas was an absolute stud his rookie year. He has just been decimated with this significant knee injury he keeps working back from. But while one young, second-year player is able to come off of that PUP list and start practicing, as you mentioned, both Jarek and unfortunately Abe unable to do so.
Yeah, it's Cam Young, who his window is open, so you have 21 days to activate a player. Otherwise, they're on PUP for the rest of the season. So, it's a funny note there that you mentioned about those two sounding similar. Do you remember from Mike McDonald's introductory press conference where he was describing the interaction with John Schneider? And he said they went up there, they were talking through film, they got up on the board, they were discussing things for hours, and then McDonald goes, hey, am I going to sign something? 4 hours in. Yes. So they had already gotten going. It does seem like they are of one mind, and it's cool to see this partnership kind of playing out so far early on in the season.
Here's the second thing you need to know.
Well, Brock, this is the guy you know, because I guess you're part of the Tigers broadcast now. But yesterday, the Tigers completed the sweep of the Astros, and they did so in a big part because of a 3-run double in the 8th to take the lead. Here's Tigers radio play-by-play voice Dan Dickerson on the call.
It's a right foot in front of the left when he sets. The 1-2, swinging a line drive down the left field line, hooking toward the corner. Fair ball!
up against the wall. Beerling is in. Torkelson is in. They're waving him home. Torkelson around third. He will score. Albanez ends up on third. It's a 3-run double, and the Tigers take a 5-2 lead in the 8th.
Yeah, I broke bread with that man. He looked just like Pete Carroll at Sea Star Restaurant. In fact, people thought that Coach Carroll was sitting with me and Jason Benetti and some of the other Detroit Tiger folks. It was not Coach Carroll. That was Dan Dickerson, who's been a long-suffering, well, how long-suffering can you be? It's not like, I mean, they've been to the World Series and won championships, but he's been there a long time, and this has been a heck of a run for those guys, and it really did, honestly, start in Seattle. If you remember that series, I think the Tigers had lost 8 of 9. They had sold at the deadline. In fact, at that dinner, I think I can tell the story now. At that dinner, Dan Dickerson and one of the executives like, well, we didn't sell. And Dan's like, what? What do you mean we didn't sell? We sold Flaherty. We sold our, like, what do you mean we didn't sell? Like, we didn't really sell. We still have a chance. At that point, they thought they had no chance. And that Mariners series, and then the series in Motown when they swept the Mariners, like, that was really the impetus to this unbelievable run that's now to the division series. We'll face the Guardians.
I'm sure people love you bringing that up again. But no, you're right.
What's up?
You keep dwelling on the fact that
you
the
have a problem
Mariners
with facts?
caused that.
You have a problem with facts?
Get some facts and come back and see me.
Yes.
No, you're right. It's
It's crazy. It honestly is crazy
For the Tigers,
to think.
yes, that
what if
jumpstarted
that series? You flip it around. What if that series had been the series?
There were two
exactly.
blown leads. Like in Seattle, they lost, but the painfulness of it happened in Detroit, where after the 15-1 loss, you have two leads, you blow them late after two dominant starting pitching performances. So we can bring that up again with Benetti, and then maybe he'll throw you a half share of a World Series ring if they get there. So the Tigers are on to face the Guardians. It's Yankees Royals in the American League. National League, the Padres swept the Braves, find a 5-run second, held on to win 5-4. So Padres Dodgers, that's going to be really exciting. And then Brewers Mets, they play Game 3, the only series to go to a Game 3 later today at 4 o'clock.
Here's the third thing you need to know.
Brock, I might blow your mind with this one, but it's hockey season. It literally is. It's here. The Kraken, they already had their, look at that. Yeah, big eyes there for the people who can't see. That's welcome to hockey season. The preseason is over. The Kraken beat the Oilers 6-2 last night. It just started. It just ended. Shane Wright had 2 goals, but more importantly, the season begins on October 8th, a 1:30 puck drop on Tuesday against St. Louis. But new era, clearly.
You enjoy going over to Climate Pledge?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun to see hockey in person. So I know fans have gotten on board, and some have been a little lukewarm on it, but I would highly recommend go see an NHL game in person. I think you'll be hooked.
I would agree.
It's a really fun sport to take in live. And, new era begins with Dan Bilesma and the Kraken team.
It's a great hoodie sport.
Yeah.
Right? Because the arena's a little chilly.
Rocking.
Yes. Yeah, you look good in that.
Thank
hoodie.
you.
Yeah, way to keep rocking the Mariners. Good for you, man.
I know. You know what it is? Maura makes fun of me for talking about clothes, but I hadn't worn this yet. So I'd worn all my other kind of hoodies and
Really?
gear
You hadn't worn that one yet?
Hadn't worn this one.
You've seen me wearing it, though, and Maura wearing it.
Yeah. So I had to.
Yeah, it looks good on you.
And I knew no one else was going to wear it today, so that's why.
I nearly did.
So there you go. That's everything you need to know. Our fashion choices today. Brock going Sonics. I'm going Mariners. Lyle's going Kraken. And Maura's going no team. So
I wore my Seahawks hoodie yesterday.
Okay. There we go. Perfect. All right.
I feel like us all hooked up.
Yeah.
I feel like you filled in when Passon's been on before, correct?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
Do you think it'll be less antagonistic? I mean, there's some friendly antagonism that happens between him and Salk. So I don't know, maybe we'll have a productive conversation.
Well, if Salk would have dropped the whole hobgoblin of consistent, then it would have kind of started.
Actually, you asked Jeff about that, about whatever phrase that is.
About the hobgoblin of inconsistency?
He's a scholarly man. Maybe he'll know about it. Yeah, Jeff Passon will join us next year on the Brock and Salk Show, Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
Seattle Sports, your home for Bump and Stacy.
Seattle has 2 games in 8 days coming up here. One of them is going to be against the 49ers on Thursday Night Football. Oh, also, Bump, I'm just throwing it in here for fun. They've got 6 injured starters on defense. This is, without a doubt, and it's funny because we're going to keep saying this, the biggest test Mike McDonald and his team are going to face so far.
Everything's a big test.
Everything's a big test.
It's the first. Everything's brand new for Mike McDonald, but I think he's up for it. Suck it up, Buttercup. Let's go.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Of research, seeking referrals, dozens of calls. Hiring the right attorney can be a challenging process during an already difficult time. JP Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains.
In Washington State, Tom, there are thousands of attorneys to choose from. Referrals and online research can be helpful, but discovering the right attorney requires a conversation. It can be hard to identify integrity and authenticity without that interaction.
So, what do you recommend?
We encourage anyone looking for personal injury representation to call for a free consultation with our team before making a decision simply based on referrals or online research. Accident victims need an attorney that listens, demonstrates honesty, and is genuinely understanding of their unique circumstances. The care, attention, and preparation that our firm provides throughout the case mirrors the effort involved when taking on the insurance companies.
Save time and avoid mistakes after an injury. Contact the caring and compassionate team at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
When a product is made better, it lasts longer. Sounds simple, but Toyota of Kirkland wants you to know it's actually savvy. With Toyota's certified program at Toyota of Kirkland, you can score a high-quality, low-mileage Toyota at a great price. Talk about savvy. The tremendous team at Toyota of Kirkland has plenty of certified inventory for you to come see, test drive, and take home all in the same day. Now that's truly savvy. Visit the Savvy showroom at Toyota of Kirkland today or toyotaofkirkland.com.
Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest. The best place to watch all your favorite sports. Featuring wall-to-wall viewing screens, 6 windows, and 30 kiosks. Be there at emeraldqueen.com. Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest.
Under these arches, opposing teams are put to the test. Can they hear themselves over the boom of the 12s? Can they withstand the Seattle elements? Can they compete against us? Touchdown, Seahawks! This city lives for Sunday. Get your tickets for Seahawks game days at Lumen Field and experience what this city lives for. Visit Seahawks.com today.
O'Brien Auto Group has some of the best new car brands in the Northwest. Those great new vehicles make the best pre-owned vehicles as well. O'BrienAutoGroup.com for the best factory certified vehicles. O'BrienAutoGroup.com for a large selection of the best pre-owned cars and trucks. O'BrienAutoGroup.com. Choose from hundreds of SUVs, trucks, hybrids, EVs, and more. O'BrienAutoGroup.com. One site is all you need. That's OBRIEN Autogroup.com.
O'Brien. Guys, this month only, Revive Men's Health Seattle offers qualified patients a free supply of ED medication to kickstart their treatment and enhance intimacy. Book your free T-check, exam, and consultation today. Call 206-529-1111 or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
At Pacific Power Batteries, you won't find anything with pumpkin spice. We sell batteries for everything to anyone. No warm, fuzzy mittens, no umbrellas, no potpourri in our nice stores. But when the going gets tough and the lights go out and your stuff won't start, you'll be glad that you came to Pacific Power Batteries. And if you're not sure if your battery is dead, we'll test it for you for free. We will sell no battery for anything before it's time. We're honest people at Pacific Power Batteries, doing batteries since 1985.
Seahawks Player Spotlight.
Man, it felt good to go out there and be able to contribute.
Exclusive interviews with your favorite Seahawks.
You know, we got a genius as the head coach.
Every day with Wyman and Bob.
Hey, Brock Ewart here, and as you know, it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and I'm honored to partner with the Harnish Auto family and the KIRO Milgard Breast Center in the fight against breast cancer. For every test drive this month, they'll donate $25 on your behalf. Simply visit any of their 6 amazing dealerships, including Subaru, Volkswagen, and Chevy Buick GMC of Puyallup, or Kia and Chevy of Everett. No purchase necessary, just take a spin and make a difference. It's the Harnish Auto family, where people matter.
I'm Bradley Johnson with 1-800-DUI-AWAY. Let's talk about the bar. Not where you get drinks. I'm talking about the bar exam. That rigorous beast that's required to practice law. You've got to pass it, but not anymore. Soon students can pass on the bar exam instead of passing it. Can you imagine unlicensed electricians burning down the house? Plumbers? Yuck. Dentists? Ouch. Fortunately, all our lawyers have passed the bar exam with flying colors. And with that comes over 300 5-star reviews, over 30 years in business, and a 90% success rate getting cases reduced or dismissed. So call 1-800-DUI-AWAY or go to 1-800-DUI-AWAY.com. The world is changing fast. Rely on the best in the business. bar none.
1-800-DUI-AWAY.
Hi, I'm Stuart Holmes, Elections Director for Washington State. Free, fair, and secure elections are the backbone of our democracy. No matter what's on the ballot, election officials work tirelessly to ensure every eligible voter's voice is heard. Regular integrity checks against federal and state databases ensure Washington's voter roll is clean and accurate. Check your voter registration at votewa.gov.
Sponsored by the Office of Secretary of State and aired in cooperation with the Washington State Association of Broadcasters and this station.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Brock and Salk.
Weekdays 6 to 10.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Mike Lefko and Brock Heward here with you. No Mike Salk today, but we do have Jeff Passon joining us, ESPN MLB insider on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook Hotline. Jeff, good morning, and I'm sorry that Salk is ducking you today.
I know. Poor little Mikey has a soft throat. I feel so bad for him.
Do you know how hard it is to do this job with a sore throat, Jeff?
Yes, actually, as somebody who gets paid to talk with people all day. In fact, I do, Brock, and I've had a sore throat before.
Jeff
and
came on with a
sometimes
broken
you just
back.
gotta step up.
Yeah.
Yeah, seriously. Thank you. I wasn't gonna say it, but yes, I do. I do, in fact, know how difficult it is, and some of us are dogs, and some of us are puppies.
Well, Jeff, he did leave us with this that we've been trying to figure out. So Salk dropped a line that we had never heard of. We're hoping you have. He said, "A foolish consistency is the hobgoblin of little minds." And I drew blank looks. I don't know if you knew what that's from or what that means, but we were not scholarly enough to know what Salk was talking about.
I do believe that's Emerson, is it not?
I looked it up. It
Ralph
is.
Waldo.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Well done. Well done.
All right. So there you go.
There we go.
You know what? Do you think Salk actually knows what that means, or does he just want to quote Emerson to sound smart?
No, I think he knows what it means. Yeah, I think he knows what it means. He tries to dumb it down for the rest of us, mostly me, and then, that's when he runs into trouble. Hey, can you do something for me? We just had a caller last hour eulogize the 24 Mariners before we get to all the fun stuff, the playoffs and what's to come and everything else. But if you were to write the eulogy of the 2024 Seattle Mariners, what would it look and sound like?
Here lay the Seattle Mariners, the World Series champions that could have been. Their starting pitching was the best in Major League Baseball, and their bats left much to be desired. They were the 46%.
Wow.
All right.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. It was good there.
That's right off the cuff, too. I mean, I could have told you and texted you ahead of time.
Yeah, I was gonna say you didn't you didn't tell me to do that.
Yeah.
Sometimes you'll give me the text like, "Hey, I want to talk about this." But yeah, not with this one. I feel okay about that because my biggest problem when I'm on air, and especially on TV, is landing the plane. Like, you want to land the plane well, and I feel like I stuck that one smoothly. It was not like the plane lands and it's bumpy and then it comes to a screeching halt. No, that one was good.
That was solid.
Yeah, that was good.
Great effort.
Well, Jeff, we look at these playoffs now, and I think the last time you were on here, the Mariners season hadn't officially ended. So now that it is over, and you look at teams like the Tigers and the Royals, who essentially at the end kept the Mariners out of the playoffs, what have these teams done that the Mariners couldn't do?
Do I hear someone getting arrested in the background?
I thought that was you.
Yeah.
Oh, that's Brock?
Oh. Yeah, that's me. That was.
They're coming for Brock.
Yeah, I got some stuff going on here. Don't worry about it, Jeffrey. Don't worry about it. That was it. That was the ambulance after the eulogy. Don't worry about it.
Mike, can you repeat the question? I was so fixated on the siren in the background, I just was not listening to it.
And here I thought you were working through that. So no, yes. Brock was the one being the distraction. And I had this good question all built up and everything. I won't dress it up again like that. But, Jeff, we saw the Tigers and Royals just win playoff series. We saw a Mariners team that felt like they were comparable to them at times. What did those teams do, though, that the Mariners couldn't do?
Hit enough I think that's probably the answer at the end of the day. And they finished strong. Well, at least the Tigers finished strong. But, it's amazing. I think the Royals are the team that the Mariners need to look at and be like, oh, my God, like, how did we not get past them? The Tigers finished like 31-11. They were the best team in baseball after August 11th. Like, they were on an all-time heater. And they, we saw that in the wild card series as well, when they did what the Mariners and, dozens of other like individual teams could not do, which is beat the Houston Astros in the postseason. The Astros have more or less owned the American League for 7 years, and they got absolutely stunned by the Tigers. The Royals, though, the Royals had a pair of 7-game losing streaks in the last 5 weeks of the season and still got into the playoffs ahead of the Mariners. And what the Royals did, I think, was a perfect example of what the Mariners could have done if they made it in, which is they pitched their way to the next round. Now, granted, the Mariners bullpen was iffy enough that there would be questions whether they would be able to do what the Royals bullpen did, which was throw 7 2/3 scoreless innings over the 2-game series against the Baltimore Orioles. But I also think that, if you're starting Logan Gilbert and George Kirby or Luis Castillo, like in those 3 games, then you're going to get 6, 7, 8 innings from your starting pitcher, whereas the Royals only got 6 from Cole Reagans before he left with a calf cramp, and 4 1/3 from Seth Lugo before he left with the bases loaded and 1 out. So, I would assume that the Mariners starting pitching would be the thing that carries them. And I could absolutely see in another universe the Mariners not only being alive right now, but looking pretty darn good as a favorite in the American League. And that speaks, I think, to how narrow the differences are among American League teams. I don't really think that there's a great team. I don't know really that there's even that good of a team, but whoever advances, whether it's the Yankees, the Royals, the Tigers, or the Guardians, none of them would surprise me at this point.
Well, that's the little note that I have on my legal pad in front of me here, Jeff, because Jerry Dipoto, not a season-ending press conference as they've had in years past, but he met with the local media and just kind of talked about we've been a good team. I mean, we've been a good team for a number of years, and they didn't quite get to the 54% this year, but they've been a good team for a number of years. How do they become a great team? Do you see a pathway this offseason as they go to work on trying to do that very elusive good to great? How do they do it?
They get a first baseman, they get a second baseman, they get a third baseman. Simple as that. You got your outfield taken care of. You can rotate people around DH, but I think a remake of that infield is necessary. And I think whether it comes via trade, and listen, I think Jerry Dipoto is suggesting that trading a starting pitcher being Plan Z.
He said Plan Z to you, Passon. Passon, he said Plan Z.
I know, that's fine.
He was directing that at Jeff Passon. That's Plan Z.
That's perfectly fine. If it's actually his 26th plan, then I think that's an absurd statement, just patently, because how many different options are there when, to me, the most telling part of that media availability was him saying the payroll is not going to go down. What he didn't say is that the payroll is going to go up. And as the salaries of Julio Rodriguez and Cal Raleigh and Logan Gilbert and George Kirby all do go up, are there enough guys leaving potentially either in free agency or in the declining of options to balance that out? And if not, does that then mean that the spending in free agency is not going to be acceptable for the level to which the Mariners need to improve in their infield? And if that is not, that leaves you with two options. That leaves you with an option A and an option B. Option A is you trade prospects to go get the bats. Option B is you trade pitchers. There's really there are no other choices. So if you want to go all the way down to Z, I suppose that for For exaggeration's sake, I applaud Jerry Dipoto in saying that we are not going to trade starting pitchers. And that's fine. Like, I get that. I get that perspective, and it's a totally fair one. But if you are trying to accomplish the other things that you say you'd like to accomplish, then you got to do it some other way. And that other way is not going to be with money, then it's going to be with prospects. And if it's going to be with prospects, you're running the risk of trading your core in the future to make yourself better now.
So it sounds like, just kind of to clarify here, basically because we have seen some noticeable free agent misses over these past couple off seasons, we know the positions you just outlined, but is the kind of player that they actually need to help this lineup going to be available to them in free agency?
Well, let's look at what the free agent options are. I think this is an important thing to do because we need to know the names that are out there, right? The free agent first basemen are going to be Pete Alonso, Christian Walker, Paul Goldschmidt, Rhys Hoskins, Ryan O'Hearn, Josh Bell, Carlos Santana, Anthony Rizzo. Those are your options there. And you have everything ranging from guys who are going to cost, $5 to $8 million a year, all the way up to $25 million plus. If you get in that 5 to 8 territory, you're probably going to have, guys who are more platoon players. Like Ryan O'Hearn's really good against right-handed pitching, not quite as good against lefties. Carlos Santana has been there. Josh Bell, production's decent, but, he's not going to be a real game changer. At third base, you have Alex Bregman, and that's pretty much it, unless you put Willie Adames there going from shortstop to third base. Both of those guys are going to be $25+ million a year players. Simple as that. And at second base, there's Gleyber Torres, and a bunch of guys you probably don't want to sign. Maybe Hassan Kim, but he's injured right now. Wilmer Flores, another guy who is more of a platoon guy. Brandon Drury, coming off a horrendous year. Adam Frazier, not the impact type player you want. Tell me, guys, what do you do from that group?
Christian Walker. Christian Walker.
Yeah, Christian Walker would be great. You know how many teams are going to want Christian Walker? Like 15, because he's an exceptional defensive first baseman who's got power too, and a very good clubhouse guy. So Christian Walker's probably going to be in the 3 to 4 year at $18 million or so a year. Is that the kind of contract that the Mariners are going to be willing to give out? Are they going to win a bidding war for someone like Christian Walker? And I ask this in all sincerity. I don't know the answer to it, guys. I don't. But if this is how you're going to proceed with a payroll that's going to be the same as it was last year, or around the same as it was last year, and all of those raises are in place and they are balanced out by the guys who are leaving, like potentially Jorge Polanco and other free agents. Are you telling me that the Mariners ownership is going to be willing to spend $18 million a year on a first baseman?
Well, history would tell you no. Mr. Stanton, correct. I think Adam Jude had an article the other day, and I don't know, again, I don't want to mischaracterize anything, but the conversation of signing ascending young players versus signing and putting yourself out there for aging players, that's not been what they've done in the past.
Yeah. I mean,
now I would say back to you, Jeffrey, what I don't know, what Lefko doesn't know, what most in this market don't know. Tell me how big a deal the news from Diamond Sports saying, yep, 8 of the 9, regional sports networks is, after they bought the Valley, said we're done. There's nothing here. The Braves the only one we're going to keep aboard, and we're going to cut bait with 8 other Major League Baseball teams in their deals. What impact does that have around the sport?
Well, the impact may be on free agency. We don't know that at this point. And, there's a chance that this is going to be a very cold winter, and that there are going to be a number of teams that just say we're not spending, and the free agent market could crater accordingly. But I don't know, man.
Jeff, big picture, man. Big picture. Should I have a concern about where baseball is? Like, as you lay that out, as we look at the White Sox debacle, as we look at the Oakland A's debacle, as we look,
I don't think the A's and the White Sox have anything to do with this. Well, the A's are the consequence of an owner whose selfishness is his leading characteristic, and who can talk all he wants about the efforts that he made to keep the A's in Oakland, but in reality, they were on his terms, which is his right as a business owner. But you cannot have it both ways, where you make decisions that are in the best interest of your bottom line, but you also say that you're trying to do something for the public's sake, to be an advocate for the city. You can't have both.
Right.
And John Fisher made a choice, and he must live with that choice forever, as being the person who killed baseball in Oakland.
Okay, I'm just talking big picture, though. I'm just talking big picture, like a healthy, flourishing business, like, who they're competing with, that has salary floors, and everybody's got to spend to that. And here's billions and billions and billions that is being pumped into this pipeline that is just growing all 32 assets, some mismanaged, some dysfunctional, some chaotic. Get that. But here's the pipeline. Here's the flow of it. When I look at baseball, and you're telling me it could be a cold winter in 8 of these places, when I look at teams cutting payroll, when I look at the Pirates having to make a move to save $200,000, like, is this a place that baseball finds itself in totality?
Yeah, it's concerning. It's worrisome. Here's where it's worrisome, though, and here's where it's not. It's worrisome on a national level, I think. And it's worrisome on a national level because people just don't watch baseball to the same extent that they used to when it's not their team. Where it's concerning to me on a local level is in the distribution, because, frankly, all baseball has is the ability to be consumed, right? That's any product. And if your consumers or your potential consumers do not have the ability to consume your product, they're just going to move on to something else. If you don't make it incredibly easy for them to do it, they're going to say, my day is already hard enough. I work, and my boss is a turd. I have kids, and they're the worst. All I want to do is sit down, crack a Coors Light, and enjoy a couple hours of a baseball game, and you're making that difficult on me? Forget you. I will find something that I can be brainless with, and it will be something other than baseball, and I won't miss it because all of the stress and agita that I get trying to find this is not worth it at the end of a long day where I've already been stressed and already been put through the ringer by people I don't really like.
Mm-hmm. Jeff, bringing it back to that local level, outside of needing to upgrade and needing to improve this lineup, the Julio question kind of lingers as well, because there hasn't been a season where he's had a full year of production, and he was a rookie a couple years ago, but with all these roadblocks he's encountered, how do you think you unlock a full season of production from Julio?
I don't have the answer to that. If I did, I would quit my job and be an extraordinarily high-paid consultant for the Seattle
Be careful about saying things, Passon. Be careful about saying things like that right now.
Be careful about saying quitting your job.
You don't need to be saying, people take that out of context, okay? Be careful about saying stuff like that.
That's a very reasonable point. Thank you. I appreciate that.
I was gonna say, Brock doesn't know basketball, theoretically.
Sock would not have looked out for me there. So thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you, new Mike, and thank you, Brock. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
I look at it like this. Julio Rodriguez is going to be 24 years old next season. Bobby Witt Jr. is 24 years old this season. I do not see a scenario. I absolutely see a scenario in which Julio has a Bobby Witt type season next year. Sometimes it takes a little while for everyone to put the pieces together. And I think he is a smart enough guy and a hard enough worker that he will figure out eventually how to unlock a full season. And I think ultimately it comes down to finding the right balance for himself, just in terms of what he's doing with his life. How much time is he spending working on particular things, and how much time is he spending doing things off the field, and how much time is he spending on his personal life? And these are all things, guys, that most of us take until we're in our 30s or 40s to figure out. And he's having to figure it out in his early to mid-20s with the eyes of an entire city on him and the pressure of a multi-$100-million contract on him as well. So maybe I'm just being soft here and giving somebody who I have respect for grace to figure that out in real time. But I think that's the fairest way to do it. And I understand that Mariners fans want more. We all want more. We all want everyone to figure things out as quickly as possible so they can have that prime period of their lives extend as long as possible. But just as is the case with the growth and maturation of kids, baseball players, they are the same exact thing, and it just goes at a different pace, and there is no script for it.
So if you're a Mariners fan and you're trying to figure out, okay, these playoffs, I want to go this way. I want these teams to win. I want this to happen. So the Jeff Passons, when they tell me ownership needs to do this or the team needs to do this to take the next steps, are there some teams that Mariners fans should be rooting for if the M's are going to react to what is going on in the market?
It's got to be the Royals, right? The Royals went out this offseason, signed Seth Lugo, signed Michael Wacha, signed Hunter Renfroe, signed Chris Stratton, signed Adam Frazier, and signed Bobby Witt Jr. to a $287 million contract, which was like 4 times bigger than anything they had ever done before. The Royals went out and spent, and the Royals won. Not only did the Royals win, they went from a 106-loss team to going to Yankee Stadium for the division series. If you're telling me that's not success, I don't know what is. And if you're telling me that you can't tie that directly to the spending that they had this offseason, I'll just tell you straight up, you're wrong.
And Kansas City, a middle market team, is that a market that is similar to the Mariners?
No, it's a smaller market, much smaller market, much lower revenues than the Mariners.
But I thought the small market teams couldn't spend that way.
One has been told, has one not?
Like a hobgoblin of some.
We already forgot the phrase, yeah. That's good.
What a turd. I can't believe he said that.
Yeah, just dropped that and then left. And when was that, Monday? Yeah, he dropped that on us. And
I actually, you know what? I'm going to take offense to that. I actually enjoy it when he says, what's the other one about Hochter, non-Hochter prop? So I actually enjoy it. Tries to expand.
Hold on. How do you think he sounds when he's saying it right now? Do you think he sounds like a foolish consistency is a hobgoblin of little minds?
Exactly. Yes.
Adored by little statesmen and philosophers and divines. Like, is that what he's doing right now?
I think he's yelling. He's probably listening to this right now, yelling his radio.
Dude, he's so
mad
angry.
at you. He's so mad at you right now, Passon.
Why is Passon doing this to me?
Oh, well, great sympathies too to send his way. So I'm sure that would be well appreciated.
Thank you, Jeffrey.
Yeah, Jeff, thank you. Appreciate it.
You deliver. You always deliver.
It's always a pleasure, boys.
Yeah, don't leave your job.
There is Jeff Passon. One of a kind there, Brock. Right?
Oh, there he goes. And I wasn't wearing my Sonics hoodie for him either. And he really shouldn't have started down that road. If I leave my job, it's not what any of us want. Certainly what we don't want.
You guys don't know basketball, so.
Anything you hear there? Anything that jumps out new?
Yeah, but in like 30 seconds, I don't think there's enough time to react to it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think you can. There's a couple things right there.
There's a course for the offseason, and yes. There is a definitive path that the Royals did show. And it's something that I kind of mentioned to start this show, that you can get to the playoffs, then you're set. The Mariners have built a good playoff team. There's the big irony, Brock. They've built a great playoff team, but they haven't built a team that can get to the playoffs. They haven't built a team that can win throughout a season to get there. But if you get there, like the Royals did, you're in perfect position because of this rotation. So whether that is 4 guys because one is traded, 3 guys, 5, any number of that, the rotation is there. You build behind that, and you just get a couple of pieces to take some of that. Well, that's what jumped out to me. Take some pressure off Julio. That's what you have to do. They have failed to do that over the past couple of off seasons. That now if Julio doesn't have to be everything that was expected, if Cal Raleigh and Julio don't have to be the sole run producers, you have a deeper lineup because you have Robles, you have a Rosarena, you build around all that. So it might just be a couple of pieces, but there's a definitive step to getting pieces that fit.
That's really well said. Good job, Lefko.
Oh, thanks. I had to condense it into about 30 seconds. So,
Way to go, man.
yeah, knocked it all out there. Not as eloquently as one Jeff Passon, but, we try. We try our best here. We do have a lot of Mariners that we'll get to over the course of this offseason, but back to the Seahawks. And one potential concern for maybe this week and then the next few weeks with the Seahawks, especially on offense, we'll get to that up next. Brock and Salk on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
After suffering their first loss of the season, the Seahawks are ready to get back to work.
He's going to score 10-5. He dives in. Touchdown, Seahawks. Ken Walker III, welcome back, brother.
This Sunday, the Hawks look to bounce back as they host the New York Giants.
Coming underneath JSN on a quick throw backside Charbonnet. Down the near sideline, first down.
Kickoff 1:25. Pre-game coverage starting at 10.
Wow, pull one out of the back of the playbook.
On your home for the Hawks, Seattle Sports.
This is the day of the big sale at your gift shop.
Welcome in.
So this isn't just a big day for your business. It's a big day for the network keeping it all connected. That is, if it can handle the pressure.
Next in line, please.
So is it possible to get business internet you can really count on? It is. With 99.9% network reliability from Comcast Business. It's like this neat little bow.
Do you like that gift wrap?
Really ties it all together. Reliable internet for your business. It's not just possible. It's happening. Comcast Business. Powering possibilities.
Switch to Comcast Business and get started with reliable internet and advanced security for $49.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement. Plus, ask how to get up to a $500 prepaid card with a qualifying internet package. Don't wait. Call or go online to switch today. Offer ends 10/13/24. Restrictions apply. New customers only with 150 megabit per second internet. Eco bill and auto pay required. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. After 12 months, regular rates apply.
Are you a skilled HVAC tech looking for a top-rated team? Join Ben's Plumbing, rated 5 stars for exceptional service. Enjoy great pay and benefits, a supportive team, and a non-commissioned HVAC career. Visit bens.plumbing/careers to apply.
So I formed Davis Law Group about 30 years ago, and I would get, the same questions from people about what to do in the case of an accident. Do you need a lawyer? To the point where I decided that I would at least write a book which would answer the common questions that I would receive as a lawyer. Once I wrote my first book, it proved to be hugely popular. I decided to write then a series of books in different accident cases so that we could really teach people about their rights, how to protect them, and how to decide on whether they need a lawyer and what lawyer to hire. I've found in my career that having a client that is educated and knowledgeable about their particular type of case really helps the client and also usually ends up making the case or the claim more successful. To get your free copy of any of my Washington accident books, visit WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
Hey, pet parents. With Progressive's collision coverage, you get extra protection for your cat or dog, because there's nothing worse than seeing your pet hurt. Like when you see their face after accidentally stepping on their tail, and you say, "I'm so sorry, Mr. Pickles." But as you kiss his nose and rub his little belly welly, you know Mr. Pickles is thinking, "You betrayed me." Anywho, Progressive pays up to $1,000 in vet bills if your pet is injured in an auto accident. Learn more at Progressive.com and watch where you step. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Collision coverage subject to policy terms. Not available in all states.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues?
Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online at hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation to determine the ED medication that's best for you. Discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and a range of treatment options, including trusted generic alternatives to the name brands. at up to 95% off. ED is personal, and at Hims, so is treating it. Just go to hims.com/joy and get connected to a licensed medical provider online for free with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
My Seahawks jersey is more than just a piece of clothing.
It's a symbol of the unique spirit of my city.
Creating a sense of community and belonging.
A bond uniting us and a love for the game. This is my jersey.
This is my jersey.
This is my jersey.
This is the Pro Shop. You can find your new favorite jersey at the Seahawks Pro Shop. Shop online at Seahawks.com or visit us at The Landing in Renton or Lumen Field.
Guys, this month only, Revive Men Cell Seattle offers qualified patients a free supply of ED medication to kickstart their treatment and enhance intimacy. Book your free T-check, exam, and consultation today. Call 206-529-1111 or visit ReviveMenCell.com.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports.
This hour is brought to you by Muckleshoot Casino Resort.
Get your freaking auto! From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Brock and Salk on Seattle Sports.
Brock Heward and Matt Marcus. Sorry about just Mike.
Presented by Simply Seattle.
Heward, not exactly Joe Cap there in the pocket.
Now here are your hosts, Brock Heward and Mike Salk.
Mike Lefko and Brock Heward with you here on a Thursday morning. Although we did get a good impression of what Salk probably sounds like right now from Jeff Passon.
No, he's not as sinusy.
Yeah, okay.
He doesn't have a sinus. He got a sore throat.
He has no voice at all.
He's been a warrior, though. I will say that. The last 3 months, we've been at it. We've been going at it.
Yeah.
And the Mariners season took a little out of him. You know, the last month and a half, I think emotionally was not always the easiest. And I think that was really well said by you. I hadn't heard it necessarily framed that way, that the Mariners were built and have been built for the postseason. Unfortunately, getting through the totality of the regular season has been a real challenge.
Yeah, I mean, that's the common refrain that we kept hearing last year when they were close, and I think even this year, too, is that no one wants to see the Mariners in the postseason. And that's absolutely true. That's true. You don't want to see in a best of 3 or even a best of 5 that rotation. But the problem is you can't get there. It doesn't make a difference. It makes no difference if you can't get there.
And it'd be really helpful to build it. And I know we want to shift gears here to the Seahawks, and we will. But I think it'd be really helpful if you could build it to not just get to playoffs, but play at home. Pitch at home, right? Because they were a different team pitching at home even than they were on the road.
Yeah, and you can't just build it to get there and then lose, because that's demoralizing. Look what happened to the Orioles. I mean, they're in a state of existential crisis after Adley Rutschman stared down a 2-0 pitch, didn't swing. They lose again. They get swept out of the playoffs again. So all of a sudden, this promising Baltimore team cannot put it together in the playoffs. So you have to have a team that cannot just get there, because it's such a cruel, abrupt end. It's 2 games. It's just 3 days after the regular season ends. That's not going to feel good. If next year, if the Mariners get to the playoffs and then they're swept out of the first round, that won't feel great either. So you do have to build a team that is a legitimate, thorough contender, or even gets a bye, like Cleveland sitting there, or like the Yankees sitting there. You have the benefit of a couple home games, at least a longer series, better sample size. So that's the goal. That's the path of the offseason. But in this 9 o'clock hour, a lot of football talk. We have Mora's fantasy football forecast coming up at 9:45. You have a confused look, Brock. Do you know what fantasy football is?
Oh, I do. I do. No, she's awesome at it. No, nothing confusing there, man. She's crushed it. So.
You don't play, though? You don't participate?
I don't.
Okay.
I don't. I've helped with some drafts with some friends and my son, but no, don't participate.
Well, Maura and I are participators, so we'll help here. But yeah, awesome. Maura's fantasy football forecast coming up at 9:45. Send your questions in, who to start, who to sit. Week 5 starts tonight. Falcons, Bucks. So send those in on the Mac and Jacks text line, 866-979-3776. Maura's fantasy football forecast at 9:45. But Brock, for the Seahawks this week, and then even a week from tonight, it's Seahawks 49ers. I mean, that's in a week. That kind of overshadows the Giants game on Sunday, because the Giants aren't great, and we'll give you a pretty key update coming up in Need to Know. But we know the offensive line has been an issue. And especially then with George Fant getting hurt early on into the season. So he's still on IR. He was put on IR before the Dolphins game. So he's not eligible to come off of that until week 7. So you're not even going to have your second string right tackle for the Giants or for the 49ers. You look at this O-line, Stone Forsythe, it's been an admirable effort, but Aiden Hutchinson kind of wrecked some havoc in the backfield. He had a season-high 10 pressures. The Seahawks had to throw a ton on Monday. So if you look at that, and you look at what we're going to hear about Abe Lucas and the fact that he hasn't been available, and just some of these other concerns on the offensive line, is this the one unit where that could hold back what the Seahawks' ceiling is on offense this year?
You know, it's interesting. I would agree with Mike McDonald. He was asked about the O-line yesterday and felt like they played their best game in Detroit. I mean, you don't have 518 yards of offense, 38 first downs, unless that group in front of Gino did a better job than they did certainly against the Dolphins or the Broncos. Like they got overwhelmed at times. Any O-line in that building is going to get overwhelmed playing from behind and having to throw it against an Aiden Hutchinson and those rushers. But I thought a lot of the times, Mike, they got a body on a body. They certainly gave Ken Walker at times an opportunity. Again, it wasn't like they were overwhelming that front. He made a lot of those things happen, his yards after contact, his bounce, and all of that. But I actually can think this is a real positive. If Stone Forsythe can play like that, if Christian Haynes, who's pushing and got more time at right guard, right, can play like that over the course of this marathon, when an Abe Lucas hopefully comes back, when a George Fant comes back, when a Jason Peters gets into game shape, like you've got maybe more resources actually than you've had there in a long time. Connor Williams in the middle, I think he played a great game.
Solid.
Yeah, it's super, super solid. You know, is a physical guy. You'll see him get after people and finish people in the run game. Charles Cross has been a difference maker. So, you know, this is one of those you don't ever want to just weather the storm. You want to get better and better and better. Talking to Jonathan Smith at Michigan State yesterday, that's an old Chris Petersonism, that I want to be playing my best ball at the end of the year. And I actually think, man, if you can get these guys and they do take steps, and Christian plays a little better and Stone plays a little better and Connor coming off the ACL just keeps getting stronger, that for the first time in a long time, this is a group that can be better when it really matters in December and January than it's been in the past.
Well, I want to ask you about that right guard battle, but here's what you were alluding to, Mike McDonald yesterday talking about the offensive line.
I don't think there's any conclusion with it right now. I think both guys played a good game. I think the offensive line probably played their best game of the season so far. So we haven't talked about specific snap counts this week, but I'd anticipate something similar moving forward in the near future.
So that was specifically on that rotation with Bradford and with Haynes. And I know Salk has a theory about, hey, do you rotate based on situations? But with this rotation so far, is there someone you think is going to have the edge, or that it would benefit the Seahawks if this guy or this guy wins that position outright?
It's a little challenging, Mike, because sometimes, and you know this in the college game, as you watch and love a lot of college football as well, when you have a couple different quarterbacks that are so different in skill set, you know, it kind of makes that a little bit easier, right? Like, okay, here's my dual threat guy, you know, here's my pocket guy, and let's kind of see how it all sorts out. And at times, maybe even you have a series or two or a set of plays for that other running quarterback. It's a little more challenging when their skill sets are as different as they are in Haynes and Bradford. Bradford is a massive people mover, massive, but he's susceptible with short area quickness and in protection. Christian Haynes is not nearly as big, is super heavy-handed and physical with want to, but he can't move people. He doesn't have the girth and the lower body strength that a Bradford does. So you kind of have differing skill sets, you know, that makes it it makes that judgment kind of difficult. You'd really love to blend the two of them. You'd really love to have an Anthony Haynes. Take the half of Anthony and take half of Christian.
I prefer Christian Bradford. You know,
yeah,
so
or
that's a better sounding name.
There you go.
There you go.
Yeah, a Christian Bradford. You really love that, but you don't get that. In the end, though, quite honestly, it's going to be better for them to both get work. Yeah. It's going to be better to have 3 guards you feel good about. It's going to be better to have 3 or 4 tackles that eventually you feel good about. It's going to be good to have a center that is actually anchoring this thing. And then, you know, what we don't talk about, Mike, is the fact that Scott Huff is 5 games or 4 games into his NFL career as an O-line coach. His first time around this orbit too. Never done it like a grub. So to do that, to put 38 first downs on the board, to execute the way they're doing, you just want to see those steps, man, each and every week. If they just, and this isn't like years past. I don't think they've had this kind of depth. I don't think they've had this kind of center. I don't think they've had this kind of system. Like there's, I think, a lot more optimism for me at the end of the rainbow, at the end of the year, than there's been up front over the last couple seasons.
Well, Brock, I know you wanted to get to this as well. What helps the offense in a large way is having a guy like Ken Walker back there. And the game he had on Monday.
Ken Walker,
yeah.
You got a Ken Walker?
Have you seen him? I mean, Mike McDonald really wants you to see what he can do.
I can't wait to show some of the clips of the team. You talk about a guy that's just an incredible competitive spirit and just the will to get the extra. I mean, the one play on the sideline was incredible, but this guy's playing at a really high. I mean, it's just how hard he plays on a down in, down out basis. Unfortunately, witnessed it firsthand at Michigan State, so this is nothing new on his front.
Yeah, I don't have time for this. We actually got to go to break.
Yeah,
maybe at the end of Benetti.
Okay. We'll kick him off early.
Yeah,
okay.
I have a Michigan State.
You can tell him that.
I do. I have a Mike McDonald, Michigan State, Ken Walker story that I don't think I've ever shared before.
Okay.
So at some point in the next 50 minutes, I'll find a way to do that. But anytime you mention Ken Walker, you got to, it's like Burgundy reading a question mark or an Anchorman. You just kind of it always goes up. Right, Maura?
I think she's tuned you out at this point.
Have you seen Ken Walker?
I don't know what you're talking about.
No one knows what you're talking about, Brock. Jeez. Who would know what you're talking about? Who would have any idea?
No one.
All right, there are some more things you need to know before this matchup against the Giants. That's coming up next. This is Brock and Salk Show on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
Hawks Live.
Tonight from 7 to 9.
Live from Bellevue Square Center Court. Join former Seahawks Michael Bumpus and Paul Moyer as they go deep on the Hawks with player interviews and opponents' analysis.
We're joined now by Drake Thomas. Talk to me about the Mike McDonald defense.
I think he really utilizes personnel well, and I think that the game plan and attacking teams and what they're doing is just on another level.
Presented by the Bellevue Collection.
Every Thursday night throughout the Hawks season.
You know, someone asked me the other day, do you know how many devices the average home has connected to their Wi-Fi network? It's way more than I thought. So I actually went home and counted how many connected devices in my home. It is more than a dozen, all to keep us connected to the good stuff, our streaming, gaming, all the internet, and you name it. Well, Xfinity knows that the number of devices we have connected to our internet is growing by the year. And that's why they engineered their gateways to handle hundreds of connected devices, hundreds for real. And now through October 10th, get 150 megabit Xfinity internet for just $19.99 a month for 12 months with a 1-year contract, and ask how to get an eligible free 5G phone with Xfinity Mobile. Make sure your home Wi-Fi can handle everything you throw at it and then some. Visit Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store to switch today. Xfinity, bring on the good stuff. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with store bank account. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra after promo. Regular rates apply. Xfinity Mobile requires Xfinity Internet. Actual speeds vary. 1-800-XFINITY.
O'Brien Auto Group has some of the best new car brands in the Northwest. Those great new vehicles make the best pre-owned vehicles as well. O'BrienAutoGroup.com for the best factory certified vehicles. O'BrienAutoGroup.com for a large selection of the best pre-owned cars and trucks. O'BrienAutoGroup.com. Choose from hundreds of SUVs, trucks, hybrids, EVs, and more. O'BrienAutoGroup.com. One site is all you need. That's OBRIEN Autogroup.com.
O'Brien.
Order for Jennifer C.
Is this my double shot, double cream, double froth, double pump, double hot, double whip, double sleeve?
Yeah. Can you handle that much caffeine?
Hey, did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Well, I do now.
Seriously, did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Yeah, you just said that.
Did you say I just said that?
Yeah, I'm cutting you off.
Did you say you're cutting me off?
You earn, we match. Unlimited cashback match. See terms at discover.com/creditcard.
This report is brought to you by Macy's. Don't miss Macy's VIP sale. Use your coupon or Macy's card and take an extra 30% off the latest fall trends and save 15% off skincare, makeup, and more. Savings off regular and already reduced prices. Exclusions apply. Now at Macy's.
With Wendy's, breakfast burrito is everything you want for breakfast. Fresh cracked eggs, seasoned potatoes, American cheese, cheese sauce, bacon or sausage, all rolled up into one warm tortilla. Want the boss of breakfast burritos? Gotta be Wendy's at participating U.S. Wendy's.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, board-certified urologist and Senior Vice President of Men's Sexual Health at HIMSS. In my 12 years of practice as a reproductive urologist, I've helped many guys with ED, and it has never been more convenient to treat than it is right now, thanks to HIMSS. It really wasn't easy before. You had to take time out of your day come to a physical office and see a specialist like me in person. Now, through HIMS.com, you can get world-class sexual health care and a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. It starts with a free assessment from a medical provider licensed in your state who can determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. So don't wait. Join the hundreds of thousands of guys who've gotten help for their ED through HIMS.
To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices, go to hims.com/radio. That's hims.com/radio for your free online visit.
For Down Territory, going inside the game with Michael Bumpus.
I like this. More quarterbacks should start doing this.
Every day at 11:15 and 1:15 on Bump and Stacy.
Lab-grown diamonds might be new to retail, but not to Cantor Diamond. Hi, Diamond Dave Cantor of Cantor Diamond. And even though I'm a fourth-generation natural diamond importer, I was the first to import these gorgeous, eco-friendly, low-carbon footprint, conflict-free, real and genuine diamonds to the West Coast. And unlike everyone who's recently gotten on the lab-grown bandwagon, we work with the largest growers in the world to bring you the best possible diamonds at the lowest possible price. We know what to import and what to reject. And because we're importing direct, working in our low overhead wholesale offices and making our own rings, bracelets, and earrings in our own facility, we can offer better pricing than anyone. So work with the leader, not the followers, and let us find you the perfect cultivated diamond for less, a lot less.
Call Cantor Diamond at 253-272-7007. That's 253-272-7007. Or follow them on Instagram at KANTOR Diamond.
Judas Priest. Invincible Shield Tour, North America 2024. The Priest. October 9th, Angel of the Winds Arena. With special guest, Sabaton. Get tickets now at Ticketmaster.com. Judas Priest, live.
It's football season, and that means colder weather is on the way. If it's time to update your windows and doors, talk to Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington. Local owner Keith Dashafee has a great deal just for you.
That's right, Steve. Now you can get 20% off qualifying installations or 0% financing for 24 months with equal payments. Just schedule a free consultation with Pella Windows and Doors at PellaPNW.com.
Thanks, Keith. Check out the unbeatable selection of windows and doors today at PellaPNW.com. That's PellaPNW.com.
Need to know. Brought to you by Ben's Plumbing, Heating, and Air.
15 minutes past every hour with Brock and Salk.
Here's what you need to know. Up first.
Brock, you told me the Antonio Pierce, Devontae Adams saga was old news. You had had enough of that. But here's some new news involving Antonio Pierce. So the former Arizona State assistant, and Lyle is stewing over there. He's furious right now. He's just been hit with an 8-year show cause by the NCAA for program-wide efforts to engage in impermissible recruiting contact during the COVID-19 dead period.
That was gross. That whole thing was gross. Lyle, were you still there? Were you still bar hopping in Tempe at that time in 1920? When were you done?
In 1920.
19 and 20 and 21.
19 and 20.
Yes.
Yeah.
We graduated in...
19, 20, you know.
Graduated in 2020. Greatest time ever to graduate. Anyway, yeah, no, all that stuff happened after we had left, just after, but nobody was very happy about it.
So Antonio Pierce escaping to the NFL, but he's not allowed back in college football, as seems to be the trend these days with some coaches. But one coach that is not as dirty, Mike McDonald, he gives some positive news here. We've talked about this, that the issue with this week is they haven't practiced yet, so you don't really know what's happening with the Seahawks. But yesterday, Mike McDonald said he expects Uchenna Nwosu to be back out there on the field, and we'll see what happens from there.
Yeah, he'll be out there. And again, with all those guys, it's a process of, can we get them to the line? Are they feel comfortable? Is it best for them to go? I know all of them are chomping at the bit to get out there, but we're going to do what's best for them and what's best for us. So today's a walk, so it's hard to gain some a bunch of insight on where they're going to be after today. Tomorrow we'll probably have a better idea.
Best for them, best for us. That's what great organizations do. And it sounds really simple. And then look at the dysfunction and the mess in Vegas, where Devontae's got a hamstring. Mm-hmm. What do you mean you got a hamstring? I got a hamstring. And I've seen it before. I was a part of an organization that got messy and guys were upset. Maybe it was money or maybe it was other issues. And I got a calf today. What do you mean you have a calf today? Yeah, I pulled my calf. I can't practice. I can't go. When you have a team that is aligned, you have guys that want to go, and then you have a team in the management that says, I know you want to go, but I need you for more than just Sunday. I need you for the following Thursday. I need you for the Sunday after that. I need you for 17 because we're in this thing for the long haul, and that is what I think some of the management of these injuries is all about.
Here's the second thing
you ever had a hamstring?
Need to know.
Not like Salk had a hamstring, but
you ever had a calf?
No, I have not. No, I've not had a calf injury.
You've been a pretty healthy camper, huh? Good for you.
I mean, I stay in shape, bro.
No, good for you.
I do those outdoor activities in the summer, and then I sit like a sloth in the winter. So,
nice.
No, I try to stay in shape here. But my body is slowly betraying me. We don't have to get into that now, but age, what happens. So, from the other side, though, some injuries from the other side. So ESPN's Jordan Raanan reported that Malik Neighbors, with that concussion he suffered last Thursday, seems like a long shot to be ready against the Seahawks. Devin Singletary had a groin issue. Sounds like he's going to play. So you do have a running back there for the Giants, but without their best receiving weapon, pretty ideal situation for the Seahawks on a short week.
Yeah, Neighbors is a unique dude, man. He is like DK Metcalf, strong, fast, physical, can't cover him, threat to score, threat to hit a home run. They don't really have many of those outside of him on that roster. And, yeah, that would be well, that'd be a little bit of justice, right? After you didn't have 5 of your starters in your front 7.
Big justice there, Brock.
Big justice. Yeah, shout out to the Rizzler.
Someone said, did you call him the Ritzler before?
I did. I screwed that up. It's the Rizzler.
It's the Rizzler.
That little sucker.
Glad we got that important information out there.
Yeah, you're welcome, Brock.
Here's the third thing you need to know.
Well, we're going to talk some Tigers coming up next with your guy, your broadcast partner, Jason Benetti. He joins us at 9:30, but it is Guardians-Tigers in the ALDS because of this. They eliminate the Astros yesterday.
The 0-1. And this should end the run. And that'll do it. The Motown magic continues. The Tigers sweep the Astros 5-2, and they will move to the American League Division Series.
Brock, your thoughts on Michael Kay?
Can I just say something? I don't like tearing other people down. It's not fun to do that. And everybody has an opinion in broadcasting, and lots of people think I suck when I call games, so I get it. I'm going to turn it around the other way. Do you know how good Rick Riz and Dave Sims, who's up for the Hall of Fame, and Aaron Goldsmith are?
You're putting a positive. I like this. You're putting a positive spin on something else to showcase
because when
how
I
bad
listen
the others are. Yeah,
to those calls, and go ahead and play. This is Dan Dickerson, great guy. Broke bread with him at C-Star. Really nice man. But this was a bases clearing 0-2 8th inning. Gotta have it. Win this. Like listen to Dan Dickerson's call of that.
Right foot in front of the left when he sets the 1-2, swing a line drive down the left field line, hooking toward the corner. Air ball up against the wall. Beerling is in. Torkelson is in. They're waving him home. Torkelson around third. He will score. Albanez ends up on third. It's a 3-run double, and the Tigers take a 5-2 lead in the 8th.
And again, this is not to be negative. He's a great guy. The call's fine. If Rick Riz is calling that, if we're on the road in Houston, if it was the Mariners on the road in Houston and the bases were loaded, and you have a pinch hitter, Mitch Haniger comes up to bat, and Mitch Haniger delivers an 0-2 trip. Can you imagine Rick Riz's call, Dave Sims' call, Goldie's call if he was on the radio at that moment? It would be unbelievable. Just listen to him in the playoffs. Listen to Cal's. Listen to those men's calls when Cal hit the bomb to end the drought to get to the playoffs. I mean, it is. We are fortunate here. We've said that for a long time. We are fortunate to have the Steve Rabels, to have had the Kevin Calabros, to have had the Bob Rondos, to now have these guys calling it. Like, we are fortunate to have some of the very best in the business doing it.
You know who's some of the best in the business? And that's everything you need to know. The guy joining us next, I think you know him pretty well. You refused to get out of the Tigers broadcast booth when he was here. Mm-hmm. He calls games with you on Fox, college football, the hat you're rocking. What, Michigan State, Oregon tomorrow?
Yep.
Yeah. You guys
Friday
will be on the
night,
call for that, some Friday night.
Mm-hmm.
Still weird to say Big Ten
action. It is really odd.
But Friday night Big Ten action involving Michigan State and Oregon. He'll be on the broadcast of it. Jason Benetti will join us next here on Brock and Salk on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
Seattle Sports, your home for Bump and Stacy.
Gino Smith in the offense put up 516 net yards. They also scored a season-high 29 points. How special did he look out there?
Gino was on point, man. He threw the ball 56 times. That's a career high. Had 38 completions. That's a career high. People were saying Sam Howell should be the guy. I bet y'all have calmed down with that now. I was really impressed by Gino. His leadership, his composure, getting to the line of scrimmage. He checked out of some plays. At no point did I think Gino was overwhelmed.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
All right, guys, it's Mike Salk here, and the summer is definitely over. I know you've had your fun. So did I. Maybe you let it get away from you a little bit, but now you know it's time to get back on track. Stop feeling frustrated and overwhelmed and start being excited about the new you. It's all possible. You got a teammate in Eastside Weight Loss Clinic. No gimmicks, no tricks, no drugs, no injections, just teaching you how to turn your body into a fat-burning machine and then keep that weight off for the long term. Eastside Weight Loss Clinic knows the secret for fast and lasting weight loss using real, healthy foods that you buy at the grocery store and lifestyle strategies designed to reset your metabolism. So schedule your free online consultation at eastsideweightlossclinic.com. The program has successfully helped thousands of people lose 20 to 30 pounds or more in just 60 days, including myself. You can do it in person or virtually from anywhere you live. Schedule your free phone consultation today. Call 425-588-0080 or go to eastsideweightlossclinic.com.
Dr. Ryan Coogan, D.C. Results may vary. Fall is near and it's time to break the huddle by taking advantage of Toyota of Kirkland's lifetime powertrain warranty. With a roster of over 70 Tundras and Tacomas, come scout the phenomenal team at Toyota of Kirkland. They'll pass you the keys so you can test drive your vehicle and take it to the house that same day. Big-time players make big-time plays at Toyota of Kirkland. Visit them today at their incredible showroom or online at toyotaofkirkland.com.
O'Brien. Want to listen to Seattle sports on your smart speaker?
Hey, smart speaker, play Seattle sports.
This message is powered by the EQC Sportsbook at Emerald Queen Casino. Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest.
Stream every Seattle sports show with the Seattle Sports app. Brought to you by Fred Hutchinson Cancer Center Proton Therapy. Get new videos, podcasts, and articles on the Seahawks and Mariners from your favorite Seattle sports personalities daily.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
What makes you so different than the rest of us?
We ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Tell me more.
Our investment counselors focus on service over sales, prioritizing clients' needs.
How do you make money?
We don't sell any commission-based products. We have a simple management fee based on the value of our clients' portfolio. So we do better when our clients do better.
What about client portfolios?
We get to know each client, their finances, family, health, lifestyle, and more, and then we tailor a portfolio based on their specific goals and needs.
Your clients really come first then, huh?
Yes, we make them a top priority. Our goal is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement.
Wow, maybe we are different.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss. Have you tried the dining district at the Bellevue Collection? Grab lunch with friends, meet up for happy hour, and stay for dinner and beyond. You can sample international flavors and local favorites from talented chefs. Try a new cocktail on a rooftop bar or watch the game with friends and explore the lively nightlife scene. The Dining District at the Bellevue Collection, where your taste adventure begins. Learn more at BellevueCollection.com/dining district.
Headed outdoors or on the water this weekend? Check in with Joey and Nellie on the Outdoor Line from 6 to 8 a.m. every Saturday on SeattleSports.com.
From whiplash to herniated discs, there are a few car accident injuries we've all heard of. J.P. Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains that even the most common injuries differ from one another.
Pre-existing conditions, health history, beginning of treatment. There are hundreds of factors that make every person and every injury unique. While these variables aid medical treatment, the strongest case recoveries must also take them into account.
Could you explain a little bit more?
Our team at Pendergast Law is obsessed with turning over every stone to differentiate each case. This requires thorough investigation, diligent listening, and relentless research. We never pursue cases with a one-size-fits-all approach. We built our success by treating every injury and every case with the individualized attention our clients need and deserve.
Pendergast Law's individualized approach to even the most common injuries makes the difference in case outcomes. It's another reason why I can't recommend them enough.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
Hey, Brock Ewart here with my buddy Dave Taylor from First Mark Insurance. So glad, so thankful that Molly and I made the call. Had heard so many First Mark Challenge victories, we needed to take that challenge. What does happen from your perspective when that caller, when that email, when that person reaches out to you for a First Mark Challenge victory?
That's a great question. So there's several steps we go through in the process. The first step is we're going to gather information, find out all we can about that client and what their needs are. The next step is we will go out to the market. We have dozens and dozens of carriers that will compete for the business. At the end of that process, we will then bring those findings back to the customer, show them what we found, and who the eventual winner was in that competition.
And it may be who they're with.
It might be, yes. And sometimes that's the best we can do is recommend they stay where they are, but maybe modify a few coverages to put them in a better position.
So go take that challenge today. Go be the next First Mark Challenge victory. It costs you nothing, and they will be there with you every step of the way. FirstMarkInsurance.com. FirstMarkInsurance.com.
This hour is brought to you by Muckleshoot Casino Resort.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Brock and Salk.
Weekdays 6 to 10.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Mike Lefko, Brock Ewart with you. We'll get to Jason Benetti in just a second, but want to throw out the call one more time. Get your fantasy football questions in for Maura coming up at 9:45. 866-979-3776 on the Mac and Jack's text line. We'll get to those at 9:45. But first, Brock, a guy you know well, a guy we both know well, I guess. Yeah, we both know this guy well.
Well, why don't you tell people about that,
Well,
Lefko?
I'm about to. I was going to do that, and then you interrupted me here. I'm trying to introduce him on the Mac and Jack's text line, or on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook hotline. It is the guy who left you in Orlando last week to have a very important call, the Tigers clinching. Jason Benetti joins us now. Jason, good morning. How's it going?
Gentlemen, new Mike, how are you?
New Mike. I don't like that sticking. Yeah, Jeff did it.
I do.
Jason
I
catches
really
on.
like that.
New Mike.
When I give you a hug later this morning and I wrap my arms around you and I smell your hair, is beer and champagne still in your hair pores?
I thought you were talking to Lefko.
Yeah, say, please clarify there.
Yeah. No, I think there's a chance it's still remaining. One of the indelible moments from that clubhouse celebration, I said to Parker Meadows, the Tiger center fielder, I go, how's this feel for you? He goes, why does it burn? Why does it burn so much? Why do they make it burn? I said, it's meant to be drank, dude.
It's not supposed to be for the hair and the eyes and all the other orifices, just the mouth. Tell me yesterday, as you're in the hotel room in Eugene, Oregon, and you got the game over your shoulder, and we're finishing our Zoom meetings with Michigan State and Jonathan Smith and Aiden Childs, and Ibanez delivers. Does Benetti just jump out of his chair, off the bed, however you were consuming at that moment? What'd you do?
Yeah, I was sitting on the little couch over there at the corner of the room, and I may or may not have said an expletive or two. You ever around a team that you're just like, man, I just think it would be really fun if they won. Like we clearly invest in what we're covering, right? I've been around them. There's a lot at play there, but this is just a really fun team. It's been a little like watching a 15 seed win an NCAA tournament game over the course of a month and a half. That's what it feels like to me. And, in those games, you kind of just float through it for 40 minutes. But in baseball, you can have these interruptions. And the Tigers lost Carrick Scooble games down the stretch to Oakland and Colorado, and they could have easily woken up the next morning, thought, well, this isn't going to happen. We're toast. And to have a team built from whatever this is, but one thing we know is youth, it has been a very rootable team.
Well, Jason, Brock is going to take credit, and he already has, for the Tigers' turnaround.
Privately, just privately.
I don't know. Okay.
Or did I do that on the air?
Yeah, you were kind of alluding to that. Yeah.
Okay.
But outside of Brock Ewart not leaving the radio booth when the Tigers were here and maybe creating some magic.
TV booth, there's television
TV,
booth. Jason
sorry.
does television.
That's right.
Yeah, get
that's
the
right.
facts right.
Okay.
Come back
Thank you.
and see me.
Appreciate that. What has led to this turnaround, Jason?
Yeah, I think it was Salk and a little bit of Brock on the show the next day. saying, like, how are the Mariners losing to these guys? What is this? Why is this happening? And I don't remember the exact quote. I'm joking mostly, but I think everybody felt like that. You know, Brock, you and I had dinner with some Tigers people a couple nights before I came on the show, and it was, you know, like this team generally had sold pieces, right? And you could discuss it, and we did discuss it, and whether or not it'd be better for the future. But you end up with a guy in Trey Sweeney who has been really solid at shortstop, and you end up with places to put the young parts to come up from AAA. And I think the Williamsport game when they beat the Yankees was one of those turning points because they got to play like 12-year-olds in front of 12-year-olds, and they came back and won. And you tell somebody in sixth grade that they're not going to win, and they'll be like, well, we're going to do everything we can because we're too naive to know any better. And that's the joy that's coming from this team. But I do think that nobody in Major League Baseball, and I don't blame anybody for any conversation they had about the Tigers in early August, because that's how it felt. It's like, how is this team coming in here and winning these games? And it turned out at 5-1, the Tigers were as responsible for the conversation you guys had with Passon about the Mariners as anybody.
Mm-hmm. So help the Mariner fan out there understand, because when Jeff Passon says, hey, man, watch the Royals. And what do the Royals do? They spent, and they spent, and they spent, and they spent, and they spent. So help a Mariners fan understand then what in the heck and how in the heck the Tigers are doing this. Because take Javi Baez's, $25 million off the table because he's not contributing right now. Those young men that we watched go into Houston and sweep them and win the series. What is the combined payroll of the, 20 guys, 25 guys that played in Houston for those two games?
It's not big. I saw it floating around that, like, Josh Hader gave up the game to a team of people making less than him. And I'm certain that's true with the current roster as constituted. I would say the one lesson that I think is worthy, and we can all tell ourselves stories, right? In a wild card round, you win 2, you lose 2. The Orioles are sitting with that right now. They have a great young core, and they lost 2 games to Kansas City, and they lost 3 to Texas last year, and now the panic button is fully mashed. I get that. But the one takeaway from this that the Tigers have done, and you and I talk with Allison and our whole crew every week with college football about individualism and NIL and sports as a solo project for each player. This team is as close to a team as anybody in the country right now. Andy Ibanez knows he's not going to play against right-handed pitchers. He's going to play against lefties. A.J. Hinch's going to put him in that spot. Tyler Holton knows that if there's a pocket of lefties, he's probably going to get that pocket of lefties, but also he can go against righties in order to set up the matchups against the lefties later. Everybody knows that if he needs a ground ball, he's going Jason Foley. Everybody knows that if he needs somebody to take a walk, it's probably Justin Henry Malloy. And I do think, listening to you guys talk to Passon, the Julio Rodriguez story, where it lands for me as an analog for the Tigers, is Spencer Torkelson. Number 1 overall pick, 31 homers last year. Gets sent down to AAA after a month and a half this year, goes without a home run for the first month of the season. He showed up in the middle of this thing growing, and he gets to be a guy in the lineup. Being a guy instead of the guy can alleviate a lot of tension in somebody's heart. And I do think that because Torque, and he didn't have a great series against the Astros, but he did defensively. For Torque, here's a guy who just wanted to be part of something. And he's maybe not, the 1-1 prototypical guy in personality. But, man, when you put him in a lineup that's deeper than the one he left, he can succeed. And so I think this team atmosphere, and to deploy all 26, 28, whatever it ends up being at whatever part of the season you're in, to be able to deploy a roster that has so many different uses in the right way is the ideal for a Major League Baseball team, especially one that's not in one of the top 3 markets.
Well, Jason, another thing that's been bantered around here, and it was the big point of contention after Scott Service got fired and then Dan Wilson took over. What's the role of a manager? Do you blame him for their struggles? Then do you give him credit for the success? When you look at the Tigers team, when you look at A.J. Hinch, how much impact does a manager have on teams?
You know, some people will argue none. Some people will argue a ton. I personally think A.J. Hinch is one of the smartest people going. He understands what a good situation is, and I think that's why people were taken aback yesterday when he put Jackson Jobe in his first playoff game in the middle of it. And I think A.J. did that for very distinct reasons. It did not work out. They lost the lead. But you end up paying that off in the future, he hopes. And I do think you end up with this team in the playoffs in large part because A.J. Hinch not put everybody in the proper place, because he did that, but he gave everybody on this team a reason to believe they're going to be useful in that given day. I mean, you heard it in the post-game interview that Andy Ibanez did with Alden Gonzalez. He was ready not only for an at-bat against a lefty, he was ready for Hader. Like, he got told, if Hader comes in, that's your at-bat. There was a game earlier this year where Matt Vierling pinch hit and came up with a big hit, and talking to him the next day, he was like, oh, yeah. No, I was ready for that guy specifically. I don't think you can undervalue that. I don't know what a manager's overall value is. I think A.J. Hinch's value is enormous.
Permission to speak freely?
Oh, boy.
Have you not been?
You always do anyway, and if you're qualifying it, I feel like I should check and see if this window in the hotel can open.
Permission to speak freely? I'm asking. Okay.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
How weird is it to work all year long and to be in the television booth? And I was an idiot. I'm like, oh, crap. Am I going to lose Benetti for another weekend? You know, I lost you last weekend. And you're like, no, dummy. Okay, once the season ends, it goes to the national TV guys. I should probably know that, but I'm dumb. Just is it you put all the hay in the barn, you do all the work of the regular season, you get beer dumped on you. How much of you wanted to be on that call yesterday?
Yeah, it would have been great, but it's the deal. And also, I do love what we do on a weekly basis. Being totally frank, it would be really hard for me to not do it for a month.
Yeah.
And I'm really happy that I get to watch it freely and get to celebrate it freely, because I really have learned that this city really cares about its sports teams and loves its sports teams. And it's the reason why I gave the little nod to Ernie Harwell at the end of the clinch, because it's a city that loves its sports announcers. And as you throw your life at something, at an undertaking, like if you as a quarterback, Brock, went to a team that ran the wing T or the wishbone, like, it's a different deal. You'd do it and you'd be a good teammate. But if they don't value what you do, you feel like, oh, is this a dying art? Mm-hmm. And I care very deeply about play-by-play not being that. And so to be in a city that cares so deeply about the team and what we do is beautiful. But I do understand now more why Len Casper, the voice of the Cubs on TV for so many years, came over to the White Sox when I was there, because he wanted to do playoff games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So he came to the White Sox to do playoff games?
Well, you know, so best laid plans.
Was that with Shoeless Joe Jack? When was that?
Okay. All right. I no comment. I'm just happy to get to say no comment.
Wait, do we have to preface everything with permission to speak freely now, Brock?
No, you don't.
Okay.
That was like a personal thing.
I will say, if we're sharing personal things. So Jason, when you were on here last time with them, and the Brock impression you did, it has now ruined Brock for me, because anytime I hear him, that's all I hear, is I hear your impression of Brock. So it's become the caricature of him himself. So when I'm going to tune in tomorrow, that's a me issue. But you doing Brock has overtaken Brock Huard's actual analysis.
He is, it is just the power he brings every day it's remarkable. It really is.
See? Thank you, Jason. I love you. I'll see you in an hour in the coaches' meetings.
Please, no hugs, though,
Don't
right?
you do that, though? Sometimes you'll say a word and then you'll repeat it with a little more vigor.
Yes.
It's just to make sure that you cement it. You just got it in.
Yes. What did I do the other day when I three-peated and you tweeted me? Lefko, what did I say?
Completions. Completions. Yeah, he did that on Saturday.
It's the whole thing. It's the whole game. Completions.
Goodbye, Benetti.
Thanks, Jason.
Enjoy the run. Love
You're
you.
stuck with me, bro. Bye, guys.
Bye.
All right. There is your broadcast partner tomorrow, Michigan State, Oregon, and then obviously the TV voice of the Tigers, Brock.
You have 1 minute before Maura's going to just absolutely be a marvel and blow your mind with all your fantasy football questions. But can you share a little bit about what he meant there at Syracuse?
Yeah.
Because you were there, right, when he was still there or just finishing?
Well, Brock, first of all, I got to get you ready for Thursday Night Football. No, I'll do that in a second.
Okay.
No, yeah, let's do this. Let's give away some tickets. So the Seahawks are taking on the 49ers on October 10th. Seattle Sports looking to give away 4 tickets to watch this rivalry in person. All you need to do is open the Seattle Sports app, click the Win tab to find out how. If you don't already have the app, simply text app to 866-979-3776. We'll send you a link to download. Enter daily to increase your chances to win. And this contest runs Monday through Monday, October 7th. Yeah, here, a quick 20 seconds on Benetti. So he was the voice of the Syracuse Chiefs, the then AAA affiliate of the Nationals. Got to see Steven Strasburg come through there, Bryce Harper come through. But he was a wonderful mentor and resource to all the eager little nerds at Syracuse, as you might describe them, trying to make a business and a career out of play-by-play. So he's been a mentor to countless people who have gone through Syracuse. So
Just a great guy. Cool. And by the way, that little line that he said, I could follow his. The Salk ones I can't follow, but when he said, when you are a guy and not the guy, it can release the tension in your heart. That's a pretty. I kind of dug that one.
Yeah,
Speaking of Julio, and in his case, Torkelson there in Detroit, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay. Anywho, that's enough. That's enough of me talking. Now it's Maura's show. Here we go, Maura.
We got some questions. We got a lot of questions coming in, so we need to get some answers. Here's Maura's fantasy football forecast.
Fantasy football forecast with Maura Dooley.
Thank you to Brent.
Yeah, so that's a listener-created one. Okay.
Is that the same Brent that did the eulogy?
Yeah.
Well, I think once Brett. No, it was Brent. You're right. Yeah. Never mind.
Multi-talented.
Because you thought it might be Brent Stecker.
Yeah. All right, what do we got?
We have some. That's why I wanted to do Here's the Thing. We have some talented listeners.
Yep.
Well, I need some fantasy football advice,
Okay.
Maura, because I actually play, unlike these two.
Well, this is
Don't
the
know
first
what's
week
going on.
of buys kicking in, so I think a lot of people need fantasy football advice. So I'll go into some of your questions, but first off, just if you're looking for some deeper options this week because of the buys, I would say for receivers, Dontavian Wicks of the Packers. He shot up to 13 targets last week after not having more than 4 all season because Jordan Love returned and Christian Watson is out hurt. He's only about 40% rostered right now, and they face the Rams this week, who are bottom 6 as far as fantasy points given up to receivers.
That's a good call right there, Maura. What's his name? Dontavian Wicks?
Dontavian Wicks.
Dontavian Wicks.
And then Wan'Dale Robinson, who we will see on Sunday for the Giants. He's about 54% rostered. He's already had 8 or more targets in all but 1 game so far this year, and with Malik Neighbors likely out, he'll probably be Jones' top target this week. I mean, the Seahawks have been pretty stout against wide receivers in fantasy, but I mean, you saw what the Lions did last week. I know Daniel Jones is not quite doing what Jared Goff is, but he's been launching some deep balls, so I think that Wan'Dale Robinson could be a good option if you need one. And also Xavier Legette for the Panthers. Right now they've got Adam Thielen on IR, and Andy Dalton has been making their offense much more efficient.
He has helped Chuba Hubbard. That's big.
Yes, Chuba Hubbard is now a fantasy star with Andy Dalton in. But Legette had 6 passes, or caught 6 passes on 10 targets for 66 yards and a touchdown last week. The Bears are a tougher matchup.
He's the guy with the great voice.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
He's Waterboy.
Oh yeah, that accent. I think I heard that. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I heard that interview.
Yes. Okay.
In running backs, we did talk about Carson Steele last week, or He-Man, as Brock likes to call him. He did not look like He-Man last week. He only had 2 carries and 1 catch. He fumbled and then was kind of relegated. Kareem Hunt, who was active for the first time, ended up getting the majority of those carries. It did pretty well. So he seems like he'll be their feature back for now, but it might be a short-term thing for you because they did activate Clyde Edwards-Helaire off of the non-football injury list.
Maura, can I ask you a dumb question, but totally in line with this? When you say that this guy is 40% rostered, he's 52% rostered, like who keeps track of that?
So I'm going off of, I'm in ESPN leagues, so that's going off of that, ESPN
Gotcha.
will tell you,
So
like,
all
hey,
of the
this
folks-
person is on
okay.
this many rosters within
Gotcha.
our. So I would think it would be somewhat similar in like the Yahoo leagues too. But yeah.
Okay.
So I try not to give you advice to pick up guys that are 100% rostered because that's pretty obvious. But these guys might still be out there. And then Antonio Gibson is about 32% rostered right now for the Patriots. The Dolphins have given up the 5th most fantasy points to running backs. They've allowed 7 rushing touchdowns already so far. And Ramondre Stevenson, the lead back there, has fumbled in every single game so far this year. Gerard Mayo, the head coach, said they could consider benching him. So Gibson could see a lot more work. And he's had some dynamic plays when they have given him the ball this year.
He's pretty good against Seahawks.
Yeah.
Pretty nice thing there. Did you see this one? This is a curiosity to me, Maura. 253 says Jordan Addison or Josh Downs in a 0.5 PPR.
A what?
A half point for every reception.
Thank you.
So
Don't
sometimes
act like
it's a point
if
per
people don't know
reception.
643 or OPS, how the bleep are they going to know
Fantasy
0.5
football
PPR?
is
So the thing
throughout
is-
the NFL.
The
Everyone
thing is,
knows
I
that.
would say Josh Downs if Joe Flacco is starting in place of Anthony Richardson.
Yeah.
Because
Actually, that was the qualifier in that question. so yeah,
yes,
thank
the
you.
Jaguars are giving up a crazy amount of the most passing yards to quarterbacks right now. And Flacco made Michael Pittman and Josh Downs much more relevant in fantasy last week. But if it's Anthony Richardson, then I would probably go with Jordan Addison because the Vikings offense is pretty efficient.
You think Flacco will play till he's 60?
Well, he's such an elite quarterback.
He has no pulse.
Well, see, now, I don't want to get distracted from fantasy football, but see, you bring that up. And that's why people try to put Geno Smith's age as a deterrent or as a negative.
Right.
Look how long people are playing now. Age is just a number these days. He's not Brady, but Brady played into his 40s. And
Very true, Lyle. It's not all a young man's game.
It's not a young man's game. I get
All right,
there's
let me get,
probably
through,
some
let me
behind
get
there.
through some of these questions.
Yeah.
We got a Darnell Mooney or Jackson Smith and Jigba one. Mooney's seen a more consistent target share, but there have been 2 games this year where he's only caught half of those targets. I think Jackson's the bigger home run hitting option, and given the easier matchup, because Mooney's going up against the Bucks, I think I would roll with Jackson Smith and Jigba this week.
Come on, Jackson.
It has been a little up and down, I know, but I would stick with him. And then I have Caleb Williams or Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence is not my favorite option either, but I would take him over Caleb Williams at this point, especially against a Colts defense that's giving up an average of 235 passing yards a game. But honestly, I might be tempted to stream Joe Flacco over either of those if he is playing this week. Like I said, just for this 1 week.
Interesting. Okay.
Flacco going to be 40 in January for those keeping track.
There we go.
Uh-huh.
All right, Juwan Jennings or Rome Odunze. I love Odunze, but the Bears' offense is just too volatile right now. And Keenan Allen's back in the mix too. Jennings seems to have carved out a role for himself in that Niners offense, even with Deebo Samuel returning from injury last week. He still had 3 catches for 66 yards. And the
Who do
Niners,
they play?
The Niners are facing the Cardinals. They're kind of middle of the road defensively right now.
Uh-huh. They kind of have the Cardinals number, it feels like.
Yeah. And then this one, they said rank Drake London, Stephon Diggs, and Brandon Ayuk. I would put them in that order, honestly. London scored double-digit points every week outside of one. Same goes for Stephon Diggs. They each saw 21 targets over the last 2 games. Brandon Ayuk has only had more than 5 targets once this season.
You know,
you two in any of the same leagues together?
No.
We're not. That would be fun. We're not.
Why
We're
aren't
going with
you?
Stacy.
I don't see. I wasn't invited to whatever league that was. No,
Why
no.
aren't
I
you
just
in
I have leagues with friends from college, so like long lasting. It gets too competitive. It would not be good for coworkers.
We
It gets
did it.
way too competitive.
We did a Seattle Sports League one year. It was so hard to get everyone to draft. But it was me and Kyle Brown in the final. I beat him.
Nice. There you go, Kyle. Take that. Brock, we do a Love is Blind picks pool. You want in on that?
Oh, yeah.
Don't know what that is.
It's the Netflix show.
Oh,
Have
another Netflix
one
show?
of your family members tell you
It's
about
a
Love is Blind.
reality
Come
dating
on.
show.
Okay.
So quickly though, do you think Thursday night games worry me? Offensive depressant on Thursday nights. Short turnaround. Bucks Falcons tonight. Legitimate worry.
Yeah.
But I guess some of these guys, like a Drake London, feels like a must start regardless.
Yeah, I think he's proven himself enough this season. You start him no matter what. Mike Evans has been a disappointment.
Yeah.
See if he can get something going. But yeah,
You know what doesn't ever disappoint? Fantasy football with Maura. So good.
Brock, you need to get into a league, honestly.
Yeah,
with all this advice now.
Just so you know, Brock, I think more people know the term half PPR than 643 out there. I'm gonna put
Ooh,
that
I
out
would
there.
agree with that.
I think
That's a
30 million people play fantasy football.
Lyle,
so.
I dare you to say that to Salk tomorrow if he's back from his sore throat. I just dare you. I just dare you.
I mean, I say that as a baseball fan. I think more people know the term happy.
We'll get the video reaction. All right. Thank you, Maura. Thank you, Brock. Thank you, Lyle. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, other Mike.
Show.
Way to go, other Mike.
New Mike. Come on.
Oh,
figure it
sorry,
out.
new Mike. Way to go, new Mike.
Thanks to Passon for, I guess, coining that name, and Jason Benetti as well. A lot of fun. Really good show coming up. Bump and Stacy. So they have the Huddle on Thursdays. They have JSN and Stone Forsyth coming up. So they get started after this here on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
Barn. Hayes in the barn.
Seattle Sports, your home for Bump and Stacy.
Seattle has 2 games in 8 days coming up here. One of them is going to be against the 49ers on Thursday Night Football. Oh, also, Bump, I'm just throwing it in here for fun. They've got 6 injured starters on defense. This is, without a doubt, and it's funny because we're going to keep saying this, the biggest test Mike McDonald and his team are going to face so far.
Everything's a big test.
Everything's a big test.
Oh, it's the first. Everything's brand new for Mike McDonald, but I think he's up for it. Suck it up, Buttercup. Let's go.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
This is the day of the big sale at your gift shop.
Welcome in.
So this isn't just a big day for your business. It's a big day for the network keeping it all connected. That is, if it can handle the pressure.
Next in line, please.
So is it possible to get business internet you can really count on? It is. With 99.9% network reliability from Comcast Business. It's like this neat little bow.
Do you like that gift wrap?
Really ties it all together. Reliable internet for your business. It's not just possible. It's happening. Comcast Business. Powering possibilities.
Switch to Comcast Business and get started with reliable internet and advanced security for $49.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement. Plus, ask how to get up to a $500 prepaid card with a qualifying internet package. Don't wait. Call or go online to switch today. Offer ends 10/13/24. Restrictions apply. New customers only with 150 megabit per second internet. Eco bill and auto pay required. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. After 12 months, regular rates apply.
Lowe's knows that to win the job, pros need the best prices. That's why only at Lowe's, MVP's Pro Rewards members can get a volume discount on eligible orders as low as $1,500 at the Pro Desk. That means you get the prices you need to start any job, small or large. Because Lowe's knows pros. Valid in-store only. More terms and restrictions apply. Visit Lowe's.com/terms or Pro Desk for details.
Progressive presents 10 things on a contractor's to-do list that are harder than getting a commercial auto insurance quote. Bidding a new client, giving an accurate estimate, finding affordable materials, getting a client to pay you for work you already did, getting a client to pay you, period, securing permits and workers and tools, getting those workers and tools to work together, and